gentlemen, and STOL fans around the world, Live Airshow TV is here at Gainesville, Texas, to bring you the first Lonestar STOL Competition and Fly-In. This is all where it's going to happen, right here in front of the crowd. These chalk marks every 3 feet are going to make the difference between those who have flown over 1,500 miles and go home a winner and those who go home a loser. It is going to be pinned on the winds, the weather, the wet runway surface as to who can land right here on this line, closest on each of their landings. Get the shortest takeoff into this 10 to 12 mile an hour right quartering crosswind, and we will see who is going to be our first champions here at Lonestar STOL in Gainesville, Texas. Let's go have some fun, boys and girls. And now I want to bring up the man that has made this whole thing possible for us. Duck Jackson and his incredible staff. 1 year ago, sir, you came up with a great idea that you wanted to put on this event. What were you thinking?
We actually came up with this December the 30th of this year. So we're about 2 months into this thing, and I can't even begin to tell you how proud I am of all these volunteers and everyone. It's amazing what we've put together here.
Well, we had the potential to have up to 80 performers here at the very first STOL competition, and I think that may be a record for a first-year event. The weather's made it a little challenging for some of them to get here. We're still going to see some incredible pilots and machines here. And tell us about some of the great supporters that we've got making this a reality.
Well, first of all, we've got Aviat, Husky. They came in as our title sponsor. They've been amazing. Just couldn't do enough to help us. Anything we needed. We've got Ladd Gardner. This whole STOL event's been presented by Ladd. Wonderful guy. Again, just what can I do for you? You know, everyone's just been amazing to help.
Well, and I know what Ladd Gardner can do for us. He can provide the best aviation insurance for us STOL pilots out here as well. And I know we got a lot of other great supporters out here, from the Fat Tire Cowboys, Alaska Airframes, Alaska. Got the banners back here with everybody else. Of course, Garmin, a good day to have some Garmin avionics in your airplane to help you get in here and see the show. It's still looking better. We've got more prize money, you know, and just like a champion at a rodeo here in the great state of Texas, why don't you tell us what our champions here at Lonestar STOL are going to take home?
So our good friend David Isham from NRS World has donated trophy belt buckles. So the winner of each class gets a huge belt buckle. It's the best Texas theme we could think of, and so we're very proud of him, and he's going to be one of our competitors also.
Ready to roll.
Well, I've got my belt, I've got the outfit. I think it'd look pretty good right here. Maybe, I don't know if those first 2 passes I flew earlier today are going to be good enough, but maybe I'll get a third one in here as well. So, Doug, thank you for all your efforts and everything to bring the very first Lonestar STOL competition here to Gainesville. It is going to be a great day. All right, so let's lay down why we do this. Let's lay down how we do this. First of all, you talked about all the great sponsors and the support. Here, lined along the landing area, are the targets. Oh, I mean, the judges. Yes, the judges. Those high-vis orange and yellow vest here. These are the men and women who are going to be looking down at these chalk marks. 3 feet initially coming down here. The cone's giving us additional markers. There's our 100-foot flag, 150, 250 out the end. We are having the potential here between Steve Henry and Yeehaw 6 with an epic Yamaha 4-cylinder turbocharged motor, the Chinook aircraft, and Hal Stockman out of Nevada with Lawnmower 7. Look at these flags. The Aviat Husky flag, blowing beautifully in the wind here, could give us a chance for a world record landing here. We're talking a combined takeoff and landing distance of less than 35 feet. So that is something everybody wants to be checking out here.
Say that again.
How are we going to do it? Well, the pilots have to be able to max perform their airplane. They're going to compete in 5 different categories. We see the first of them starting to taxi up here. These are our heavy touring categories, our Cessna 180s, our 185s, our big malls. They're going to be out here carrying the most weight. The fastest approach speeds, you'll see the longest distance for takeoffs and landings. But when you realize how big this airplane is, an airplane that can carry up to 3,200 pounds of cargo in the bush, that equates to a couple moose, several hunters, and a lot of other important things. They are going to be taking off here today probably in less than 220 feet. The winds coming into land, we flew a little earlier, our first two passes, they are a little challenging, that is for sure. It was gusty winds. If you've been able to see the video of me from inside my 170, I was having to work it. A lot of rudder, a lot of power adjustments. We had several guys and gals land earlier, what we call a scratch on the line. If you touch down even 1 inch before that line, your score is a DQ, it does not count. But you don't want to go carry too far past. If I give up 20 feet of landing distance because I landed 20 feet past the line, I still have to get my airplane stopped, and that is not always an easy thing, especially as you look at this landing area. We got standing water, we got puddling water, we got a crosswind. Headwind is good, crosswind makes it even more challenging, and that is what these pilots are going to be facing here today at Gainesville in the Lonestar STOL Competition. All right, I'm going to get out of the way because I don't know exactly how quickly they are going to pull up. And I would like to bring over here our primary sponsors, Aviat Husky. You know, I fly a Cessna 170 now. It's a great classic airplane, but I will admit, I got my initial tail wheel training in a Husky, and I actually helped the Husky set a world distance speed record on floats as well, but it wasn't a very critical part of the job. I was the one that got to do all the cleaning, waxing, and polishing. So I'd like to welcome you here, introduce yourself, and tell us about why you wanted to be a part of STOL, Lonestar, and the Husky.
Well, my name's Earl Polenz. I'm with the factory in Afton, Wyoming, where we build the world's greatest bush plane in Afton, Wyoming, USA. I'm here with Todd, our Alaskan representative. I'd like to thank for everybody inviting a Husky to participate. We're happy to be here and be the sponsor of the event. I'm representing Stu Horn, our owner and CEO, Steve Anderson, our president of our company. Luckily, they're back home working in Wyoming. Todd and I get to come here and have a great time flying the aircraft, working with all the great guys. And I'd like to thank Doug and Tom for putting on a great show for us and get us involved.
Well, I appreciate it. Did you bring this weather down from Alaska? Because it looks a lot similar.
A little more in my favor when we play it like this, so we're happy. This is going to be challenging conditions today. This crosswind is going to make it tough. You know, a little headwind's great. Crosswind's going to make these guys work hard, and I'll have to work hard as well. But it's going to be a great day, and we're just glad to be here.
Well, I know there's a lot of Huskies entered into the competition. They compete in the bush class, and it's a great flying airplane. You know, it combines some of the great STOL capabilities, the short takeoff and landing. You take that constant speed prop, you take the horsepower you're getting out of that engine. It's got a great airframe. It's big, it's comfortable. If you've ever been in a Cub my size, I'm a little bit small in there. I get in a Husky, I kind of stretch out. It's like, yeah, this works, all right? It's a great airplane. You get up going cross country. I came down from Washington. I'd love to be able to pull that prop back and speed up the cruise flight a little bit. That's what a Husky brings you. The best of the slow speed competition and off-airport capabilities with some of the great cross-country and higher speed cruise flying. It's a good compromise of an incredible design. And so we're really glad to have you here. And shopping for one up home in Washington to supplement his 182, so I'm really hoping he gets one soon.
Yeah, we can take care of him, let me tell you. We have a lot of new innovation. Straight from the factory with a lot of innovation. They're here on display.
Well, we thank you, and I encourage anybody out there in TV land to check out Aviat Husky. If you're in Wyoming, go up, check out the factory there, and of course they got their other great products as well. And everybody out here in the crowd, go check out an airplane. Talk to a Husky pilot.
Right here,
you'll notice it's him. He's got the big smile on his face, and you'll see him performing really nicely out here. So we'll hear more from the boys from Afton, and thank you very much, gentlemen.
I could hear you when transmit. You were loud and clear.
How do you hear me now?
A little scratchy, but I can hear you. It's right here. There's a short.
All right, now we're set. Looks good?
Push
Looks
it in.
good? There we
I
go.
pull it out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at this weather. We've It's been a tough day. The good thing is the rain has quit and I'm starting to dry out, and that's a really nice thing here. Air Boss is telling me we got just a few more minutes. We're getting a little bit of weather check here as the clouds continue to push through, but I like the fact that the wind is coming from the east now. That should be drying us out, helping keep the stuff that we've got out to the west knocked down. You know, some of our other great sponsors that we have out here, Airframes Alaska, and I don't care if you're flying a certified Cessna airplane, the latest in the Backcountry experimental STOL, Airframes Alaska has something for you out there. Whether it's the slotted performance flaps, brakes, tires, wheels. You'll see a lot of the airplanes out here running the medium and the big Alaska bush wheels. You put 5 pounds of pressure in that Alaska bush wheel, you can roll it over 6, 8, 10, 12-inch rocks. I'm looking to get a set upgraded on my 170 here soon, real soon, hopefully. But they absolutely great. Acme, you know, if you want it safer, stronger, lighter, Acme shocks are bringing in some great products into especially the experimental, and they're starting to break into the certified categories as well. One of the things in STOL competition you're going to see guys do, and gals, a lot of these landings are a little firmer than what you typically would be aiming for if you were just coming in and landing on a traditional runway. Remember, it's all about this line. We've got to hit right on that line. So they're going to be coming in behind the power curve, what we say. They're going to be carrying power to keep the airplane airborne. And when they get to right before that line, they're going to be reducing the angle of attack by forward stick, taking the power off the airplane, and that's going to make it quit flying. The winds being gusty make it a little tougher to fly right that 1 to 2 mile an hour above stall speed that is critical for a perfect landing. Today it's going to be a little tougher. In the first 2 rounds, we saw about half the performers scratch. What's that mean? Remember, if I land before the line, I get a DQ, it doesn't count. And that's what they're going to be fighting for today. That's going to be the big challenge. But those firmer landings, the Alaska bush wheels, the Acme shocks, all those things help protect the airframe. They absorb the energy in these landings. Once the airplane hits the ground, it's pinned to the ground. It stays to the ground. What does that mean? It means the pilot can then pick up the tail to reduce the angle of attack. That takes the lift away. That makes the tires have as much contact on the ground as possible. Get onto those brakes as hard as you can. Get the flaps off. It's all about transferring the weight of the airplane onto those 2 tires and getting on the brakes as hard as you can. But you got to be careful. You brake too hard, the tail starts to come up too high, you can get yourself scared looking at a bunch of pavement. Here comes our first of our performers now. This is our heavy touring class. Our first here is a nice 180. All righty. What they're going to be doing now, you'll notice that he's going to get his airplane perfectly configured. He wants to maximize the takeoff. What does that mean? He stops exactly on the line watching the primary judge. He's making sure that his flaps are set in the appropriate setting. He's going to get the trim set. He's going to make sure that the flight controls are free and career. The mixture is maximized. We're not going full rich here, boys. We're going to get this engine wound up. Let's get ready to go. Oh, early liftoff. You notice he skipped back down, touched the ground. It's that second touch that'll be the final. Here comes our 185. This is the big boy. 285 horse, 3,300, 3,200 pound capable airplane.
2, go. 3, up to the line.
Fat Tire Cowboys. Okay, you notice he took a lot longer roll right there. That was a conservative one. I think he was trying to get one in the books. He was wanting to make sure that one counted. Now, we got a tricycle gear airplane here. A little bit of an advantage in a lot of ways.
Yep. Alpha 4 up to the line.
VG, Sportsman cuffs. Nice aggressive rotation, that airplane becomes airborne instantly. Wind blowing all the hats off today. Here's the leader of our Fat Tire Cowboys, La Rosa, out of Lubbock, Texas. Let's see what the farmer rancher does.
4, go. 5 up to the line. Good.
All right, you'll notice a little bit of a mistake there. That tail wheel came down, the airplane didn't come off the ground, even though he added full flaps into the mix. What that tells us is that was a little early on the rotation. An hour ago when they were flying, they had a headwind. There's no airspeed indicator, there's no reference to look inside. It's all feeling, it's experience to figure out when that airplane's ready to fly. La Rosa thought it was going to fly a little bit earlier, but when we look at those Husky flags, it's a crosswind. Now that one there looked a lot better. Now we look back to the landing zone. Matt Shantz is coming in with his 180. He spends his daytimes earning his living and flying Super Cubs towing gliders at the Air Force Academy out of Centennial, Colorado. Let's see what he can do for this landing. Now he's going to slow the airplane up as slow as he can keep it in the air. Add just a little bit of power, what we call behind the power curve, to reduce the stall speed even further. But it's a fine line. You get too slow, you won't have enough power. He's looking for this line precisely. Looks like a pretty stable approach. How does it do? Oh, and it's a scratch. 10 feet short. He's going to kick himself for that one, no doubt. Okay, as I look back in the pattern, we've got airplane number 4, number 3. Here comes number 2 around the corner. So right now, we've got 2 practice rounds earlier. They're in the books for people
I
that
don't
count.
think I could fit in there.
We had several
I'm just
scratches
gonna
then. The winds look a little more stable than they were earlier, but I think it's still a little challenging for the pilots. Coming in a little bit higher. This gives him a little bit better ability to see the landing zone or the target line.
Quick question.
Also, coming in a little higher has a little more potential energy. Altitude to lose. Swapping off the altitude for the airspeed. Oh, and again, just a little bit short. Now you sit here and you go, really? 2 in a row? These are some of the best pilots out there.
I'm just
and when you've got challenging conditions and the stress or the pressure of competition on you, it can be tough.
Jerry, if you can see that maroon minivan in front of that hangar, he's north of the Kubota tractors behind that minivan.
Okay, so Alpha 2, if you would pull off by Alpha 1. Losing you due to crowds.
Okay. Whew. Are we having fun, folks? This is good. This is good. If you have friends that aren't here, tell them to get to Live Air Show TV or on Facebook or YouTube for it. Oh, Dan Gilbert, the 182, a little short as well. Now you'll notice he didn't even try to get stopped. Why? He knew it was a no counter. There's no reason to wear out the brakes, wear out the tires, and everything else. So here it is. It is all up to Dan. This is our New Mexico boy. He brought in a whole bunch of tacos for us this morning. Beautiful lights. You know, if you ever wondered about putting LED lights on your airplane, look how effective those are. The flashing really draws your attention to them, helps improve the safety. So what we need now is we need somebody to fly a little more conservative and make sure they get themselves a good touchdown. Of course, they don't know what the other people have done. They don't hear and see what we get to hear and see. So there's some gamesmanship in this. And going and landing on a sandbar or going and landing out on a field somewhere is different than competing. I'll tell you, I do a lot of both, and it is always tougher when you're competing. It's like how many have flown into a fly-in and landed in front of 1,000 people, or flown into Oshkosh and went, oh, please let me hit the orange dot and not bounce it. This approach is looking nice and stable, though. They have been catching a sinker early about right through here, and it looks like it's looking good. La Rosa's got this one nailed, maybe? Yes, that was almost perfect. Up on the tail, maximize the braking. Woo! Hold it, let's get a measurement, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise. That's a winner right there. That man wants a new belt buckle.
Everybody's parking past those Kubotas.
Now, how many of you out there enjoy watching videos, you know, those online and those here in the crowd enjoy watching flying videos on YouTube? There's a lot of the great performers here. Of course, the Fat Tire Cowboys have got their stuff out there. Keystone Fridays are always a great one to bring up. All right, here's another 180, a little smaller of the tires, 8.5s, but that will actually help him with these wet landing conditions, but I think it's gonna touch down early, and it does, oh, just by a hair. Really flat approach, almost had enough speed, but just not quite enough. But they can see you out the end, give them a wave, and let them know you appreciate them coming out here and flying for them anyways, folks.
Come on out and follow Alpha 5, who's out.
All right, now that takes us to our light touring division here. Our light touring division is...
And we'll get you all the way back down.
We'll get back to the light touring.
5, I would taxi all the way down to there's a guy with a yellow vest. You should be able to see him ahead to your left. And get down there and you can make the 180. Yes, sir. Enough parking spots up there for you guys? Yeah, this apron works really well. Okay, appreciate that. For this landing, you guys are going to go a little high-speed taxi down to Delta and then get you on the runway. Everybody's watching, and
the Kodiak is one of the most modern, rugged, and versatile turboprop aircraft produced today, considered by many to be the luxury SUV of the sky.
Go boss, ground boss.
One small detail that makes a world of difference is a
Yeah,
wing
we're working
design
on getting
with a
that cleared up there right
discontinuous
now.
leading edge. This is actually two wing profiles that are married together, allowing air to flow smoothly over the outboard wing and control surfaces, even in conditions that would cause the inboard wing to stall, improving control of the plane at slower speeds. Fuel storage in the wings sits behind the main spar for increased safety. If the wing should strike an object, the fuel is less likely to ignite than if the tanks are farther forward. The Kodiak also runs off plentiful diesel jet fuel, adding unparalleled safety and efficiency. The height and the strength of the landing gear was designed to handle unimproved landing strips in remote areas. The Kodiak's four-bladed prop has 19 inches of clearance, giving peace of mind when landing on unimproved airstrips. The Kodiak 100 was the first single-engine turboprop with a Garmin 1000 avionics package. Since its 2004 introduction, the Kodiak has incorporated the latest avionics as standard equipment, like the GFC 700 autopilot with the level switch included, a first for any turboprop airplane. The Kodiak offers high-quality interiors. The plane's seats allow easy removal and storage in the optional external cargo compartment. The days of choosing cargo or seats are over. And the Kodiak's huge panoramic windows at eye level provide an unprecedented flying experience for the passengers.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lonestar STOL Competition at Gainesville, Texas. William Gilstrap just departed with his Cessna 180 182 with a big P-Punk 520 motor. This is the second round of our heavy touring competitors. We saw a pretty tight round in the first one, but unfortunately about half of them scratched. La Rosa, he nailed it with his landing here. He's getting ready to part with that beautiful black, silver, and white Fat Tire Cowboy 185. Let's see if he can deliver even a better second round. Pretty long takeoff, but he had a great landing. So remember, it's the best of the combined takeoff and landing, and it has to be on the same pass. Here is our last one, our 180 Dan Mickey out of New Mexico. Good looking airplane, polished up, a little bit of maroon burgundy trim.
I go.
Sporting the Horton STOL, popping those flaps, getting airborne at a pretty nice early point. Now let's bring it back in. Our Colorado boy, Matt, he knows he was short on the first one. Let's see what he can do here. This might be his last chance here in the great state of Texas to take home that buckle. Gonna bleed off this speed. You can tell he's carrying a little more speed, doesn't want to drop it short, make it a counter. Oh, this is looking good. Floats it a little bit, about 30 feet, up on the brakes. Oh, that tough braking condition. This is where actually having the smaller tires gives you a little better braking efficiency than the big Alaska bush wheels. Out in the mud and the grass, those bush wheels start to take over the lead on the advantage again. Everything is a compromise, and STOL competition is about maximizing what the weather gives you, what you can do with your airplane on that given day. Now, the 185. Oh, what a good looking airplane. What a stable approach. Drifting a little bit, fighting that crosswind. Come on, Carrie. Let's keep that buckle in Texas. Pulls the power, drops it in. A little bit long, but it's a counter. That's what he needed. Up aggressively on the brakes, right on center line to a stop. They mark it. That's looking pretty good because he had a nice takeoff. So I think he's going to be happy with that at the end of the day.
And it'll be a right turn on Charlie, 1-8, and then all the way to the end.
I'm noticing these judges all here, they're backing up from the line a little bit and they're starting to duck down.
Bravo flight, Bravo 2, you up? Bravo 2.
Now,
3.
Our 182.
3, 4.
Oklahoma.
4, 5.
The nice thing about the tricycle gear with the 182 is once he lands, he can pretty much mash on the brakes as hard as he wants, right up until the point that he doesn't want to skid the tires. If you skid those tires, the braking coefficient goes down, the airplane will not stop as quickly. Now, there's no anti-lock brakes on these airplanes. It is all by feel. It is all by finesse. But watch, he'll dump the flaps off as soon as he lands to increase the weight on the wheels. His last one was a scratch and he knew it. This one's looking stable, looking nice. Come on. Chops the power, good touchdown. Up hard on the brakes, fighting the crosswind. Cameraman ducks.
You can proceed on runway 18, gentlemen.
Oh, that was a tough one. It looks like that left brake was starting, or the right brake was maybe starting to fade a little bit as well.
I got about 20 people standing in front of me.
Nobody said this was easy. Nobody said this was easy. All right. Brian Rose, La Rosa, the leader of the Fat Tire Cowboys. He nailed that first one. He's probably got chalk marks on his tires from still. Let's see what he can do. He knows he had a good one. Now, his takeoffs weren't quite what he probably wanted. He knows it. So he's got to make it up on the landing because remember, best takeoff distance and landing distance combined.
Alpha 1, you moving yet?
He's got about 300 feet to go. Dancing on the rudder pedals. Power, you can hear it adjusting.
Boss.
Coming off, settle, flare. Oh, Just short. Just short.
Alpha
But he
one
had a
down,
good one. He
frequency.
had a good one in the book, so he could give it all. He could take a chance on that one. It's just not quite going to pay off. All right,
Forward's
the
on a
last
fuel
of
bank.
our heavy touring
Alpha four
competitors
after
here
that.
now.
One, two,
Don Mickey.
the entire Alpha flight. After you land, they'll be right all the way down to Charlie. Right
Again,
there,
he's going to
1-8,
have a
and
little
then all the
better
way to
braking
the end.
efficiency.
Then
Hopefully he's got
contact
some
ground
nice
on
Airframes
123.4.
Alaska brakes on this airplane, because
Like I
those
said,
are
enough times
sweet.
that Bravo flight has it.
Lightweight, strong, powerful. Get on it. Get on it. Get that tail up. Get her stop. Get her stop. Get her stop. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Lonestar STOL brought to you by Aviat, Husky, and Ladd Gardner Insurance. Our heavy touring guys are done. We're going to make our way quickly across the strip here, get on the other side for the next round. I'd like to thank more of our great sponsors out here, including Bearhawk Aircraft. We had some scheduled to fly, and they didn't quite make it in, which is really too bad, because that is a great kit and home-built aircraft for backcountry flying. Grip lock ties, absolutely the best. Don't be putting those zip ties on your airplane. Use grip lock ties. Tanis Aircraft Heaters, Vetterman Exhaust, Steen Aviation, GlobalAir.com, and Best Tugs, all part of the great sponsors here. Now we're on to our light touring division. Here's our 172 stock wing, with the exception of he's got the droop tips. Full power, 145 horse, 0300 Continental. Starts with the flaps up. He'll bring full flaps in and rotate smoothly, lifting off. Oh, it didn't quite come off when he was hoping it would. Again, we got a 45-degree quartering crosswind, blowing about 8 miles an hour, so about 4 knots of headwind. Now here's a Robertson STOL 172 conversion, 180 horse, 172 with VGs and Alaska bush wheels. Have we got enough modifications on it? This should be a pretty good performer. Fly it like you stole it is what he says. Rotates, lifts off pretty nicely down there. You heard that prop cycle just a little bit as he released the brakes. He probably wishes he had held them all the way to let that prop get fully governed. Now here's another 0300 172. It's got VGs and a sportsman cuff as well. 8.5 main tires, good off-airplane capable platform at a really reasonable price. Flight controls are free and correct. He's got the flap set to 10 degrees for the start the takeoff roll. He'll pop him to 40, rotate. Oh, she tried to get airborne immediately, and that left main just kept dragging. It was in the water just a bit. Now here's our Malacca, Minnesota Sodbuster STOL Competition director and founder, Jeff Pohl. Dirty Bird's the airplane. It's 180 horse plus, probably more like 200 horse. Continental, Sportsman, VGs, Trailblazer prop, Alaska bush wheels, T3 tail. Up we go. Pulls and rotor. Oh, that is it. That is the takeoff of the category right there. Look at that. About what distance is that, folks? 120. 120. That is a good number. All right, so we're coming back into our first 172. Again, full 40-degree flaps. He's going to get it down low into ground effect, reduce that aerodynamic drag, increase the lift, drag it in behind the power curve, get that nose up high, hold it, 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 hold it more. Oh! The difference between 2-3 inches and having a great landing and coming up short. That's the tough one, especially as you go behind the obstacles. Bush Air's got that beautiful 170 there, but I think CC, you're actually giving just a little bit of dirty air, giving the competitors a sink right there and making it tough for them. That's not an unfair advantage, that's just being a good competitor, always trying. Now, here's our 172 tail dragger. I love that red spinner. You can see that prop out there long ways. You're going to get settled into ground effect as well, much like the last pass, but let's see if we can hold it off a little bit better. A little bit better, and no, he rolls it short. Oh, he is not going to be happy with that at all. And that is Clayton Stanzel out of New Mexico. Our first 172 there was Matthew Peterson, a Louisiana boy. And now we're going to be looking for, here comes our third.
We're supposed to park down here, bro.
Mr. Kenneth Monger out of Arkansas.
There's a black and orange Cub approaching the runway here on this frequency.
All right, much like the heavy touring
Move up,
class,
Charlie.
we're doing a lot of scratching. It's time somebody takes a little more
Charlie.
conservative approach and guarantees that they've got a good, safe one down. And this one, oh, comes up just short as well. Now you'll see our scout over here running up, and he is taxiing into position. He is the second round of the light tour, and we put no more than 5 airplanes in the sky at a time, and that's for safety and room in the pattern. All right, Sodbusters, the weekend after Oshkosh, 55 miles north of Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is an incredible STOL competition. This is the second year. Great sponsorship, great prize money, well run, beautiful grass strip up there. Good time of the year to be in Minnesota. This is the man who puts it on, and let's see what he does. He is a student of CC, nails the landing. Oh, yes! That right there, ladies and gentlemen, probably earned that man a belt buckle. The pressure is on. The pressure is on. Woo!
Before you can come on out, then follow Bravo 5 down to, you'll see a guy with...
nice job, Jeff.
Down there, allowing up for
nice job.
In front of you, Jeff.
Say again.
I know he's going to like that one because he did not like his first couple. Not at all. All right, well now we're going to go and get ready to bring us our next category. This is the Bush category. These are the production airplanes that you see, and you saw the Bush pilots of Alaska and Canada operating initially. Usually 2-place airplanes. This is the Super Cubs, the Scouts, the Christian Huskies, the meat and potatoes of backcountry flying. Everything from about 150 horsepower up to 180 horse. Fixed pitch propellers, constant speed propellers, variety of high lift devices of different styles. This will be good competition. Steve Pierce out there. Steve was with us at Oshkosh with the Oshkosh STOL demonstration. Say again. All righty. So I hope everybody's having fun. We're having a great time here at the Lonestar STOL Competition. The weather's not perfect, but it is good enough. The competition has been pretty warm, keeping it toasty. It's got tough, challenging winds out here. Husky Aviation, our primary sponsor, is about to put their airplanes on display as we go to the Bush class. We are going to spin around. It looks like the air boss is telling me one more round of the light touring. That's good news because Jeff Bull just put down the run of the day. And I know these guys out here want to have another shot at him. So we're going to line them up again. I know these guys have a good chance of carrying this.
Bravo 2 ready.
Yeah, I got the mid-field sight, so...
We're going to get behind them. We're going to watch them. We're going to get my Husky hat all bucked in here. Now you'll notice he starts that takeoff roll, holding the elevator neutral, reducing drag. Not adding flaps until he's ready to fly, and that was a pretty well-timed rotation. Pulled the flaps, rotated the airplane, lifted off almost simultaneously. Might have gotten airborne 10, 15 feet sooner, but that was pretty good. I think he'll like it. Here's a Mitsubishi MU2 just landed from the approach on the main runway. He's here for the show, I bet. He's going to have a good time. And now our big motored 172 tail wheel. It was a little long on the first takeoff. Let's see if we can do a little better, and that definitely does. That looks a lot better for us. All righty, Catnip is the bird. He's got about $25,000 into this machine is all. A good, economical, well-performing airplane. Good acceleration with the climb prop. Rotate, pull, nice liftoff. That was good. That was good. All right, Jeff nailed it last time. He knows he has a moneymaker on the card.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can back it up and even do better this time. This is kind of freebie.
Ross Bravo 2. There he is.
He's got to be feeling good.
I just crossed the number.
5, go.
Gotcha.
The visibility's coming down, but try to keep each other in sight because I got it.
Nice, nice. It was actually airborne before the tail got all the way down. That Trailblazer prop is really putting out the thrust in this cold, thick air here today in Gainesville.
Corner for Bravo 2.
Bravo 2 just crossed the road.
Okay, thanks. And I just picked up 3 too. The Mitsubishi's taxiing, back taxiing now. I'll turn you final here.
As our light touring guys make the run around the pattern, I want to tell you about some more great people helping to make this place a reality. I'd like to give a big thanks to Steen Aviation, AirTech Coatings. You know, AirTech, like they say, we make paint fly. In addition, we've got Whirlwind Propellers. They're out here helping CC Pocock hopefully set a new category win for his Cessna 170 in the experimental bush category as well. The Mustache Flyer, Sky Cowboy Supply Company, and their new helmets, great for backcountry flying protection. STOLLife.com and Zimmerer Kubota. You know, those Kubota tractors, we couldn't have done it without them today. Yesterday we were pulling trucks out of the mud out there. We were using the Kubota tractors to move forklifts around today. We used their mowers to cut the original strip out in the grass. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take advantage of that due to the Texas rain. Our MU2 is taxied in and he is clear, which means the air boss is allowed to bring in our next set of landing aircraft. This airport is still open for normal operation, so it's a juggling act. Our retired air traffic controllers are doing a great job today under difficult conditions. Of course, it means the pilots are paying attention and listening up and have good SA as well.
Bravo 4, turn in base. I got 3 inside.
I know everybody earlier took good advantage of Ayers Aviation, their beautiful hangar over there with the display of many of our sponsors.
Bravo 5,
we have
got 4
the cornhole tournament there last night, a cool seminar taught by CC Pocock and Bush Air. As our first 172 comes back in, this will be the last of the light touring class category. He was a scratch earlier. He's carrying a little more altitude. This one's looking good. Oh, that was nice. That was within 2 feet of the landing zone. Now get her stop flaps up. He's going to be happy with that one. That's what you need to do when you put a scratch in ahead of time. Nice job. These landing conditions, though, are tough. You notice the wheels starting to skid. You want to be just to that point right before the tire locks up. That's where you get your maximum braking coefficient. Of course, it's easy with airplanes that have anti-lock brakes like your cars, but you don't have that here. You got anti-lock toes. You got to be dancing on those brake pedals. You got to know what the pressure feels like. You got to listen to the tire, know what the airplane feels like. You can actually feel when a tire starts to skid. Of course, the standing water right here at about the 75-foot mark doesn't help. Now, again, looking for a counter. Our beautiful 172 tail wheel. That one's going to be good. Rolls at about 30 feet past. But I think both Matthew Peterson and Clayton will be happy with those scores.
Charlie 1, you up?
Now, next coming in,
Any of the Charlie
Kenneth
flight up?
Monger. He's got the big tired 172.
Bravo 2,
Modified
Backcountry
wing,
1-8.
you can get a little bit slower, higher angle of attack, which means a slower approach speed. Less speed
The other
means
guy
less
up here is
kinetic
a
energy that you have to
monster,
dissipate.
so
You can
don't have to
dissipate that
remake
energy
the
one of
report
two
today if
ways.
you don't want to.
Hit the ground firmly with a vertical descent to dissipate some energy, and use braking action to dissipate the energy. To improve the braking action, you need to get the flaps off. You need to get all the weight onto those mains as quick as possible. And let's see how he does. Pull it. Good touchdown. Flaps up. Stand on it. Stand on it. Stand on it. He is. He is. That's a good one. And now Jeff Pohl is coming up quickly behind him.
Charlie 1.
Charlie 2, you up?
All right,
Charlie 3.
we know Jeff
Charlie
may have
4.
the winner in the book
Charlie
right
5.
now, both on the takeoff
2
and
up.
landing. So this is his
Charlie
chance
2.
to even improve upon his own performance. Now, he doesn't know exactly what everybody else has done, so it's not that simple in his mind. But he is a true competitor, a student of C.C. Pocock, showing you, oh! That was a scratch. Look at that beautiful T3 suspension from Airframes Alaska. Talk about taking the abuse out of the airframe. These touch and downs. I fly my 170, the blue and silver one. Go to YouTube, Jughead Council. You'll see me flying off sandbars through the Pacific Northwest, up to 6-inch rocks. I really need to get me one of those T3 tail wheel suspensions because it takes all that shock and beating from the rocks, isolates it from my airframe. Now, Hal Stockman, what do you think? How they doing out there? Pretty good? He's one of the masters. He's one of the masters, and we're going to take a break. I'll be back here in just a moment.
Hey guys, welcome to TV Land.
Woo!
From the beginning, our goal has been to produce an elite aviator. We want pilots leaving our school with skills beyond what traditional learning could create. In all of our courses, we saw an opportunity to increase both the safety and the confidence of pilots. To accomplish this, we created our own curriculum and syllabus in-house. Off-the-shelf materials lacked the depth we were looking for. We had to do something different to produce that elite aviator and take pilots to the next level. We fly tailwheel airplanes because of their unmatched capability, allowing them to access areas most people couldn't imagine. Learning in a Cub also has the added benefit of producing superior stick and rudder skills, as well as increased situational awareness.
Commercial break.
Because of a tail dragger's inherent capabilities, we are able to expose students to a wider scope of scenarios and terrain. A Cub's ability to land off airport also increases
I don't have
safety
to advertise
and allows
right now.
pilots to be confident in their aircraft. In regular planes, you might have a few options in an emergency. In a Cub, you have dozens of options. Throughout the year, we lead expeditions around the country, giving pilots real-world experience in planning, navigating, and operating in some of the most beautiful and challenging landscapes. Our expeditions are an opportunity to dive deeper into the fun and adventure of off-airport flying, while taking the pilot's skill and
This is the
confidence
most
to
amount
the
of
next
miles
level.
I've got on the asphalt on these bush wheels.
TAC Aero is continually innovating,
Sure that.
creating new courses that help pilots become elite aviators.
I think they cost about $150 a mile.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lonestar STOL. It is ready for our Bush class to go. Our first
Charlie, 2 up
competitor
the
lifting the
line and
tail of that
Travis going on
Scout
the
up
back
high. Gets it airborne with the flaps. Oh, a little bit early, but he's got one down. This is going to be a fun lineup. Here's the very first of our Aviat Huskies. Beautiful airplane. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. It sits tall. It sits proud. He reaches up, grabs that first notch of flaps. Full power. Listen to that. Oh, sets the takeoff of the day for the Bush class, well representing our title sponsor, Husky Aircraft. Alrighty, up next. Here we go with a Piper L-21. Tony Terrell, he's an old Air Force fighter pilot like myself. He flew F-16s though, so he might not have been as good as me in my F-15. But, you know, he's gonna have a good time out here. Beautiful airplane with a unique paint scheme. Oh, that was a takeoff. That was beautiful, setting the standard somewhere right around 100 feet. I'm gonna call it 103 3/16. Now here's Steve Pierce, part of the Oshkosh STOL team. Brazos River Rats as well. His PA-18. Snorting, pulling, that puts one right in the same category within about 10 feet of our previous airplane. Curtis Thomas brings up the last of this first 5 Bush class. Beautiful classic Piper Super Cub. Alaska bush wheels. Look at that baby bush wheel. That's what you need out here on the Brazos River. Oh yeah, that big old baby bush wheel give you all the flotation, keep that tail up in the soft, muddy conditions that you may find out in the grass right now or out on the sandbars out in the Brazos rivers. You know, we talk about flying sandbars in the Pacific Northwest. We really fly on rock bars. When we find sand, that's like a special gift to us. All right, here comes our first of our Bush class back in. Our Scout, flown by Bo Evans out of Texas. He's working it hard here. Light airplane, nice performer. Oh, that's going to be a good one. He rolled it. He nice up on the mains. Good aggressive braking. Look at that, pumping the stick, pumping the brakes. That was a nice job. He had to carry just a burst of power at the last minute to get across the line. That's going to add a little bit of distance to his landing roll, but he's got one in the books. He's got to counter. The pressure's off for him. He knows he's got a chance.
I'm not sure if there's room off your left. But down to the Komodos, and we'll bring you back out.
Here comes the first of our Huskies. Let's do them proud. Do them proud, boys. Utah bird, Earl Polentz. He's enjoying being down here in this thick air, low density altitude. That airplane performs well, but it didn't perform, well, the airplane performed exactly how the pilot asked it to. Yeah. Right now the airplane's like, hey, you got anybody else out here that can fly me?
For the Charlie flight, you don't have to
do not repeat that, whatever you said. I saw the
under
guy,
reverse
he's got
order,
about 20
5,
pounds and about
4,
3 inches on me. And I don't want him
sorry.
chasing me down later. Okay, I sure hope everybody is having fun. I'm so thankful the good Lord has, while he hasn't given us the perfect day, it's good enough. And you know what? We can complain about the wind and the rain all we want, but look around, somewhere within about 5 minutes of us, there's somebody in a whole lot worse condition than we are. I think despite all the weather, we got it pretty good. Wouldn't you all agree? You're out with friends flying airplanes in the great state of Texas. I don't know how you beat that. All right, here comes our L-21, Air Force veteran, 20 years. He now teaches up in the simulators, up in Shepherd Air Force Base. Oh, almost carried it all the way in there, not quite. A little short. He's going to have to go reset, think about his next game plan, approach on that. He was making sure the cameraman was nimble on his feet. You know, you could run a lot faster if you didn't have this big cord tied onto you. All right. We're back to the Super Cubs. Steve Pierce, this man knows how to get it done. He flew some incredible passes this year at Oshkosh. Anybody out there at liveairshowtv.com, if you were at Oshkosh, checked us out, or if you're online right now, we've got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be giving away. Going to give away some stuff here in the crowds, but we're going to be mailing some gifts out as well. So you reach out to us, leave a comment on Facebook or on the YouTube channel. Leave your names, leave your pictures of you watching the show. Give us some comments. We're going to pick out some lucky winners. We've got everything from a great landing by Steve Pierce, little bounce, and now up on the brakes. That's pretty good effort. especially with the old heel brakes. It's not like the toe brakes that the Aviat Husky has. Makes it a little bit easier. You kind of got to be tap dancing, toes up top, heels working down below. But you leave a comment at liveairshowtv.com or liveairshowtv, YouTube, or Facebook, and we will be sending out some gifts. We've got Flying Cowboys memorabilia. We've got some Fat Tire Cowboys memorabilia. We got books from CC Kodiak and Bush Air. You want to learn how to fly your airplane like this in max performance? Well, CC is the man to go to for that training. That's a nice power. That was perfect. He hit just enough he needed, carried himself across the line, and without an excessive bounce got onto the brakes. I think he's going to like that landing. He had a nice takeoff, so let's see what happens here.
The asphalt to allow the other 4 competitors in front of you. Right turn, Steve.
Looks like about 151, I think, if I saw the sign language. Oh, 2, 5, 171. I wasn't very good at math.
25 back taxi. Back taxi all the way down to there's a couple tents down there that allow enough room for the other 4 to get in front of you.
Our Bush guys are turning around, coming back down. We should get our next round of them out. I see some of our experimental light sport guys down here warming up. We got the Highlander. Of course, we have Steve and his Chinook. Hal Stockman, the man, with Lawnmower 7. That airplane, I've seen him fly and compete in that airplane several times, and it is making more noise, more horsepower now than ever. Nice job right there. Fat Tire Cowboys representing proudly with the Super Cub.
Charlie 1, just want to let you know that we've got a block torpedo if you want to give that to the announcer.
On the wings. That's a working airplane right there that Steve has.
You're still going to compete, right?
Charlie 1, affirmative.
Okay, we'll do that.
Oh, it is. So here in Steve Pierce with the red and tan Super Cub right now has the lead in this class.
Across the line, you can make a 180 right back to the line.
All right, we'll get the first 5 of these Bush class turned
Charlie
back
1,
around.
affirmative.
Let them get round 2 out. So our original plan this morning was to let everybody in each of the classes have 2 passes. They were going to count for the competition, and then once we went live on Live Air Show TV, we were going to get them 3 to 4 more passes based on the time. What we're doing right now is we get them fired up, we get them warmed up, we let them have 2 complete passes under the same conditions that they're going to experience both passes. Makes it a little more fair for everybody. All right, we had a good landing. Takeoff was okay, so we'll see what 015 can do for us this time.
Charlie 1, go. 2 up the line.
Bo Evans, the 4th out of Texas, lifts off nicely. Oh, look at that. You notice he got off the ground, stayed just 3-4 inches above the ground all the way till that airplane was fully flying. He got it airborne at just the optimum point, as old CC would say. Here's the first of our Huskies. Let's burn it up. Let's do it. Tail up, flying nice. The tail comes down, flaps down, and it gets airborne right away. That was a well-timed takeoff there in our 1 Charlie Aviat, Earl Polentz out of Utah. Nice job. Okay, Tony. I love the paint scheme. I'd like to know the entire history of that paint scheme. We'll have to ask him tonight at the dinner.
Go.
Tail comes up, that airplane airborne. Oh, Fowler flaps. I bet you those came out of Airframes Alaska. Those look like performance flaps right there, helping to get that Cub airborne. Now I know Steve Pierce has the performance flaps. These are double slotted Fowler flaps. These are the most effective flap you can put on a Super Cub platform. Normal width or extra long, talk to Airframes Alaska up in Palmer. Well, that was a good takeoff, and he does have the lead. I know he's not going to be happy. You notice that airplane rolled about 2-3 feet before he got all the way into the power. He'd like it to have stayed stationary, so he knows he's got something a little more to give it.
Charlie 5, go.
Checking the engine. Power coming up. Oh, a little early on the rotation there for that second try. We will see what it ends up on the score. But Curtis Thomas, he had a good one at the beginning, so we'll see how we do. The first of our Bush guys is coming back around. It's Bo, the Citabria. He needs to put a good one down. Now, whether you've got like that MU2 that just taxied in or you've got a lightweight tail dragger, boy, Best Tugs makes moving your airplane in and out of your hangar easier, less stressful. Protect your back, protect your knees, protect your airplane. Give the Padies a call. Best Tugs. There's nothing better out there. That one's looking good. Oh, he nailed the last one, but this one was just a little bit short. He's giving it all he has, though, because he doesn't know that it was there, and good effort there from us. I'd like to also thank Vetterman Exhaust for being here and helping make the Lonestar STOL the success that it is. When you need to connect you to aviation information and resources, I recommend you go to globalair.com. And for solving all your water needs right here in Gainesville, nobody does it better than Barco Well Service.
Second.
We don't have any malls here today, but you know, Mall is one of the original of the backcountry STOL off-airport type of airplanes, and I really wish we either had an M5 or an M7 or even an M9 out here flying. They've got them in both tail wheel and conventional gear, or nose gear configuration.
Am I ready to go?
But here comes our beautiful red and black Husky. He needs a good one. He knows it. This one's looking better. Looking better. Oh, that one's looking great. That was short. Just a sec. Let me get my Kleenex out. Wipe the judge's glasses just a bit. Jeez. I know it was short. Your wife knows it was short. It's all right. That is not. Do not laugh at that. I am sorry, everybody out there in TV land. That was terrible. All right, real quick here. We've got Jeff Pohl right here. Dude, you nailed it.
Well, sweet.
I don't know if you know how well you nailed it, but you got it done on that first pass. So, and I've got everybody. We've actually sold 1,050 Sodbuster tickets already. So they're all coming your way. They're coming your way. I told
Charlie
you.
2 is switching seats here down by the Mustang jet.
And a walleye fish fry.
Roger that. Once you switch the seats, let me know, and what's your new number?
All right. Here comes that beautiful
Okay, we'll pass that on. Thank you, sir.
No.
Let's see what he does. Oh, that was good. That was darn near perfect.
Yeah, the tail number is the same, 54 Alpha Hotel, but it's be a new pilot.
He knows that airplane. It was just the right combination of power. He probably put 150 RPM to it. That was it. Full aft stick as he touched down. That was a well-performed STOL landing. Run out of airspeed, IDIS, and altitude all at the exact same time.
Yeah, this is Charlie 11. Where do we go?
All right. Performance Flaps by Airframes Alaska has led Steve Pierce to lead this heat so far. Let's see if he can do it again.
Charlie flight, I guess there's inbound aircraft for runway 1 or runway 36. So just hold
that man's going to be happy with that one.
And we'll work
He's going to be real happy with that one. Yeah, give him a big round of applause. He can see you waving. He knows it. He knows it. So, Jeff, how was the winds up there today? Has it calmed down since this morning?
Yeah, it's really not bad up there. Coming in the ground effect, you get tossed around a little bit, but it's pretty stable.
Good, good. You should have been happy. The crowd was really impressed. That airplane sounds so good. Oh, that one's gonna be good. But unfortunately, that big burst of power, that probably added 50 feet to that roll. But you know what? I just look down the line and I see our boss here, Doug Jackson. He is smiling, which means all the work and effort over the last many months is worth it to bring you this great event. Everybody out there at YouTube Air Show Live, Facebook Air Show Live, Lonestar STOL Facebook, I hope you're having fun. Give us comments, send us pictures, get yourself entered to or receive some free gifts that we're going to mail out. One of the ones that we're going to get is C.C. Pocock. He's going to be flying later. He's got a Cessna 170, which obviously I'm fond of the airplane. But let me tell you, his 170 is like no other. It's in the experimental category now. He's pumping over 200 horsepower. He's got some tricks in the motor. He's got some tricks in the wing. He's got some tricks in the landing gear. And there's just about nobody who can fly a 170 and get every ounce of performance out of it like CC. But the good news is you can go out to Cal Navarra. Don't ask me where that is, but it's in the corner of California, Nevada, and Arizona, they tell me, out in the desert. It's a great place to go learn to max perform your airplane, or he can train you tail wheel endorsement in his 170s. Great performer, great instructor, and more importantly, he's got a great book out. Bush Flying, our STOL Flying version, our edition 3. We're going to be giving some of those away. You can buy them online. And all the techniques you see listed here. Jeff Pohl went to his school, took what he'd learned a couple months prior, flew 37 hours to Valdez, Alaska. Valdez, Alaska is the motherlode of STOL competitions. It was pretty much the granddaddy of all of them. He went up there on his very first trip, got second place. And if you can place in Valdez, then you know you're something. Here goes a King Air just coming in to land. And again, we're at active airport right now, so we have to pause our flying to let them safely come in and land and taxi, and that's what we're going to be doing. But he's probably going, wow, I hope I landed well, because I've never seen so many people looking at me. His score is a little bit long. I've seen some King Airs land short, but I don't think he's quite going to be in the money today. Okay, where's our New Zealand friends? Has anybody here know anything about aviation in New Zealand? It's a little different than what we have here, but there's an incredible aviation history in New Zealand. Every sort of flying and airplane. And we have a guest up here from New Zealand. He's the 3-time national STOL champion in New Zealand, flies a Zenith 701, and I know he's in the crowd here somewhere. He came in to the States early. There you are. Get on out here. And we're going to talk to him because, first of all, if you're willing to fly halfway around the world just to come see this, you know this must be a big thing. But we're going to hear about what his events were like down in New Zealand.
Taxi down.
And then he's going to be off playing around. And so introduce yourself and tell us just what all this is about.
G'day, folks. My name's Dean Phillip.
I'm sorry. Could you speak English?
I am speaking proper English.
Proper. Oh.
Yeah, as I said, Dean Phillip from New Zealand. I compete in the STOL competitions down in New Zealand, which I've been lucky enough to take away 3 times, and a couple of positions as well. STOL's my passion, and certainly down in New Zealand it's probably similar country to what you guys have in your Alaskan areas. It's bush and rivers, mountains, oceans. So the STOL aircraft fits in perfectly, and I was coming over for Sun and Fun, which has been cancelled unfortunately, but
it's going to be postponed.
Yeah,
postponed.
Well, cancelled for me, but when I heard that Doug was running this event, there was no way I was going to miss out on it. So here I am, and thankfully great gracious hosts and some good flying so far today with the weather.
Well, you know, we're really glad you made it. I've seen what you guys are doing down there. It really looks impressive. I know there's opportunities for people to come down to New Zealand and take like flying tours and get involved in general aviation. And so what would be the best way somebody might be able to do that?
Well, they can look us up on Facebook, myself, or just get in touch with any of the aero clubs down there. Many of you guys, especially in the STOL world, might know Bob Breeden. He's just been down there for over Christmas and attended the what we call the Healthy Bastards Bush Pilot Comps. And he was down there and thoroughly enjoyed it and toured around New Zealand and got to go flying with a few guys. So yeah, there's aviation community around the world is such a small place and everyone's friendly. Just get a hold of somebody and we'll hook you up.
We got to find you a Zenith to fly up here, because I know there's a lot of guys that would love to see you flying out here. Of course, they're all in a different category than you would compete because you bring a good game. Yeah, well, there are plans in the works. It's something I'd definitely like to do, is get over to these competitions and maybe have a plane over here. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, that sounds great. So I appreciate you coming out and spending the time with us here. And let's give them a big round and let everybody check it out. You know, New Zealand backcountry and STOL flying, they definitely are doing some neat things down there. All right, we're getting ready to reset and go to round number 2 on our bush category. We got some more beautiful. I see 1, 2, 3. Looks like 3 more Huskies. This whole category right here is going to be like the paid advertisement.
Air Boss, you up?
You know, Aviat got started building what a lot of people say is the finest aerobatic airplanes out there. You know, the pits line evolved into the Aviat, and I had friends that were test pilots for the company, and they just couldn't say enough great things about the products, the workmanship, the support, and the people that this company brings to general aviation. And they are such a great airplane. Comfortable, honest flying, but super capable.
Can you guys hear this, Charlie 7?
And you gotta admit, they're good looking. Good looking airplanes.
I'm up.
Now I fly with my dog Dakota all the time, and if I can't fly with him, I wouldn't mind having a good looking
Charlie
dog
7.
on the back. They got it taken care of for you here. All right, so I think we are off to round number 2
can you hear me?
Charlie 7,
Bush class.
This is Charlie 7,
I'm not sure
can you hear
if
me?
Switch pilots in that airplane?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Charlie 8, you up?
8 is up.
9?
9 is up.
10?
Charlie 10.
You. Charlie 7 up to the line. Charlie 8, you can taxi up.
All righty, with a new pilot, same airplane, but a new pilot. Here comes Mr. Dale Stewart. Dale Stewart. So we're going to see the same airplane flow by 2 different pilots, which tells me, okay, now it's going to really boil down to let's see which pilot was better. That's a good way to get into an argument.
On the line, 6 is a scratch. So Charlie 7, go. Who's the yellow one?
Yellow is Charlie 8.
Charlie 8, right up the line.
Little long on that one, just a little. Different technique he used with his flaps. He left the tail down in a tail load just off the ground to reduce the roll and drag, and waited for the airplane to fly off.
Go.
Now here's Eddie Abram out of Texas. Eddie picked up that tail, bounced that Alaska Baby bush wheel off the ground, and just as it hit the concrete, the flaps were down and that bird was airborne.
Special handling there.
6 X-Ray Quebec. That is Todd Hodnett out of Texas as well. Good look at some really unique paint schemes, just beautiful. You just can't make a Husky look ugly. Whoa! Absolute minimum flying speed when she got airborne. He kept it airborne though, dancing on the rudder to keep it straight. That thing was loud. I'm not sure what he has in that engine, but I don't think it's stock. And if he says it is, I think he's lying. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Charlie 10, go.
And our yellow one lifting off late entry. Do not have all the information on who he is, so we will call him the mystery dog. All right, Update our conditions. Winds are about a 30-degree right crosswind, blowing 5 to 7 mile an hour. The landing surface is wet pavement with a little bit of standing water, mainly affecting the left main tire. Using some extra left rudder to keep you lined up on the center line, and now throw the left tire into a inconsistent braking area. It makes it even more challenging for these pilots. There's a little bit of air spilling off our parked competitors' airplanes when you're coming in on short final. 5 airplanes in a row, then there's a gap, and then another airplane. We've been seeing where that's created just a little bit of a sinking air pocket out there at about 100, 150 feet. It's something all the pilots have had to contend with today. We'll see how these guys, as their first pass landing comes in on the second round of our Bush class category. There's that sink, increases the AOA, not enough, touches down well short. He's not going to be happy with that one, but like all good pilots, hopefully he goes to school with what he just learned, what he just experienced. And that's too bad, because right there, for a few seconds, there was an increase in the wind, and 3 to 4 mile an hour wind is 10% of the approach speed of these airplanes. 10% means there's 20% less kinetic energy they have to kill to get that airplane stopped. If you come across that line and land at the right point with just the right burst of wind at the right time due to the good grace of God, you got a good chance of putting yourself down
close
a
to the
really
Mustang.
nice short
Is this where you want us? Are we going to taxi back?
Yep,
Our second competitor carries it over, gets it to the line, nicely done, up on the mains. Play those brakes, play it, play it, play it. Oh, that's going to be a good one. My water bottle got tipped over. The good thing is there's no shortage of water today, so I think we're going to be okay. So how great would it be if one of our Huskies took home that gold buckle at the first Lonestar STOL competition, brought to you by Aviat Husky. Oh, that one was short. Good burst of power, good bounce. Our MU2 is going to fire back up. That's probably going to buy us just a little bit more time here that we have to fill as he gets ready to taxi out. Give the air boss some more extra work to do. Give me an opportunity to tell you about some of our great people here and hand out some more prizes. Not prizes, just plain giveaways. Okay, our last one is carrying it in way short, touches down well short. They might have, I don't know, they might have even waved him off. We'll have to check on that.
Okay, Charlie 10, when you're ready, you can make the 180 and back taxi for departure, followed up by 987.
Whew, that MU2 is making some noise down there. World's most expensive rice cooker. All right, as our Bush competitors back taxi and we get our MU2 fired up, I'm gonna come down the line. I've got a bunch of giveaways here from Corey Robin and the Flying Cowboys. We're just gonna hand these out and let you pass them on down the line.
Four.
How you guys all doing? Whoop, grab some of these. Good luck
you go.
Mars, how far back here you want us to back taxi?
You're pretty close to where you can spin the 180s there, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
For Alpha Hotel, you can just pull up to the line and hold. There'll be traffic on the taxiway downfield there.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, go for it. How y'all doing today? Having fun? There you go. Flying cowboy stickers. Some extra ones, guys. Look at that. There's some coasters too.
Yep.
You can put your beer on that at school. No.
Do you want something?
What would you like? You want a gold medal? You can have more than one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Where did you go to school? We got lots more stuff, guys. There you go. How you guys doing today? Having fun? All right, we're working the crowd line here, giving out some Corey Robin STOL Race 5 stuff from the Reno Air Races. STOL Drag, brought to you by Kevin Quinn, the newest of the STOL events. Perfect. All righty. Jughead Council.
Charlie 7, go.
All right, well, we are back to flying. There goes a nice early smooth liftoff from that next Husky. Woo! Got to get my earpiece back in as I get back in range. Our MU-2 is back taxiing on the main runway. He's probably really wishing he didn't have to leave. He's like, are you kidding me? I get to come here to the Lonestar STOL and I get to see 3 whole operations.
Charlie 8, go.
Now you know you're in Texas when you look on the side of the airplane and the guy's got a decal of his cattle brand. I like that. I come from a farming and ranching family in the Pacific Northwest, so I can relate to that. So the takeoff's the easy part. The guys have got a little more headwind. We're losing that crosswind component. So we're losing the crosswind component. It's probably within 20 degrees of runway heading now, but we're also losing velocity, which means the airplane's not seeing as much wind come across its wings as maybe we had before, even though it was more angled. That's definitely going to increase takeoff rolls, it's going to increase landing rolls, but it might smooth out the air on final. It might make it easier for these guys to have a precise touchdown. Good, stable, smooth takeoff there. Okay, now one of the challenges is always trying to find that line. You're coming in at a shallow angle. It's a white line. Today it's on a reflective, wet concrete surface. It's tough to see. The center of the taxiway gives you a rough gouge. The 4 cones along each side of the taxiway can help a pilot pin it down, but then it starts to become peripheral vision. Because for a lot of these airplanes, just a little bit short, you may not be able to see all the way over the nose when you come in to land.
Well, the great thing about the Husky, you actually can. You're sitting up high enough, the nose is low and short enough that as you come into the sandbars, as you come into the strip, as you come into the competition zone, you've got a nice clear field of view of where you're landing. That reduces the risk of hitting an unknown obstacle out there.
Charlie 7.
Now, as we get our next Husky coming in, I think he went in a little short before he's down low. Let's see if it can carry. There's the burst of power to try to get him there.
This is the plan. Let's get switched out. We'll make that switch while we're waiting.
Get on the brakes. We're going to walk over here. Look at that baby bush wheel spinning. I got La Rosa, one of our Fat Tire Cowboys out here. Sir, you're going live on TV.
Well,
how was it out there in the 185?
Well, it's a little rainy and misty, but you know, it's a great show. We're having a good time out here. The weather's good for flying, that's for sure. They fly well in this.
They do. The air is thick. Were you happy with your performance?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Well, I scratched one, they told me. Okay. You know, I can't see when I touch the line or not, but they told me I scratched one. I did a decent landing after that, but you know, the weather conditions change, so the airspeed changes of how I need to pull it off the ground, so I had a couple of really green pull-offs that's going to cost me on the downline. So,
well, that's one of the challenges here, and that's why we do it, because it is never easy. And there's another. That was a nice touchdown. Difficult on the brakes. You hear them squeaking. Just one of the challenges out here. But not only thank you for your support of the event, but thanks for the great flying, and we look forward to seeing more of those videos. Check out the Fat Tire Cowboys channel on YouTube. Keystone Friday. There's nothing better than Keystone Friday. Our head line judge up here is getting ready to put down a little more chalk on the line because I'm sure it's getting a little difficult to see. Oh, but I love this. Man, the weather's doing good. Our MU2 is on the roll. We could have had a twin turbine category. We had a King Air, and now we got this guy. All right. Down low, the super low ground effect style. Does it pay off? It pays off a little bit short. I think he's going to go home with another DQ, unfortunately. But hopefully he learned something. Hopefully he had fun. You know, we got pilots out here that have competed in 10 events, and we've got a pilot out here that is just now getting his private pilot license. He's been training, though, specifically on these skill sets to be able to allow him to safely come out here and fly. We've seen winners at Valdez that were student pilots, didn't even have a private license. And I know we have several pilots here that are what you would consider relatively low time. But what they've done is they have always been flying STOL type events, max performing, being taught the aerodynamics, being taught how to safely go up and learn these skills at altitude. And that's something that's really important for everybody to understand. You don't get good at this 10 feet off the ground. You go up and you practice this at 10. I'm just wondering what he's making signals at. He's like he's an aircraft carrier LSO guy over there, seeing if there's an F-18 coming in. You go up and you practice these skills at altitude. You go 2,000–3,000 feet up there, you learn how to get your airplane flying comfortably at its slowest speed.
Okay, Charlie 11 through 15, check on.
Charlie 11.
Charlie 12 is on and a new pilot in the Husky.
Great sponsors, Moustache Flyers. Not only really cool emblem, he's got some hats, some t-shirts. Go over into the Airs Aviation hangar, another wonderful event host, and check out some of the avionics that they are developing for
this is
experimental
54AH. Where you want me?
Processes,
yep,
and there's some cool things you can do there.
Which Charlie
I'll
are
get
you
this
now?
one to the folks.
Charlie
Flyboy
12.
Toys.
12.
There you
All
go.
right, go past
That thing's
the
light. Perfect.
red,
That's a
white,
girl's
blue,
hat. I got you. That'll look good on you,
tail
man.
dragger just ahead and to your right. He's number 11. You follow him.
Thank you.
Gonna make my way across here. It makes it easy when they put all these sponsors out here on the banners.
Charlie 11,
Works
you
out
take
well.
the line.
Whirlwind
Charlie
propellers
11,
out here. Well, you want a cool
taking the
airplane
line.
propeller, get the most out of your horsepower. Give them a call. They'll even build custom ones like they did for CC out there. Young Aviation, Eric Johnston, Mall Aircraft. We talked about AirTech Coatings. They make paint fly. Some great stuff. Here comes another early Husky. Now you'll notice on the belly, he's got a belly pod. These come in two varieties, to carry extra cargo or carry extra fuel, or some of them have a combination of both. Really useful in the backcountry where you don't have airports and fuel at all these places. A lot of the bush pilots will actually stash cans of gas back in the backcountry. You'll fly out there, drop people off, pick up some gas to make it home.
Charlie 11,
or
go.
when you're trying to maximize your payload.
Charlie 12, come on up to the line there.
Oh, beautiful liftoff. Just smooth as silk. Nicely flown. Here comes our next one. Those, a lot of times you'll go out to a place with low fuel, carry in or out the load you need to, and then add some fuel to get home.
Charlie 11, once you get ready, you go.
Charlie 12.
These airplanes look as good on the right side as they do on the left-hand side. Aviat's always trying to improve on these machines. They started off with the A1A. Over the years, they take feedback from their customers, their pilots, make the airplanes better. Eventually they went to the B model. Now they're all the way up to the C model. Now take a look at this big Alaska bush wheels. You'll notice the tire is actually squishing, kind of bending, malleable. There's only about 5 pounds of air pressure in those. It's almost like flying on black marshmallows, and I noticed there's a for sale sign in the window. That might be something someone wants to take home. These Husky guys would love to be packing home a belt buckle. Now here's something we're seeing more and more in backcountry flying, and I really encourage anybody to get involved, is wearing a helmet. I've got a great Bonehead Composites helmet.
Go.
He's got a specialty combination helmet there, which includes the aviation headset, and we'll be talking more about some of our sponsors and some of what they offer. Sky Cowboys Supply Company, they will build you that special customized helmet, perfect for your backcountry flying. You should see the look on this pilot's face. You can see the excitement, you can see the concentration. Oh, and I think you'll like his liftoff.
Charlie 11 on final.
What you guys didn't see on that side is just as he lifted off, his right door opened up, the lower part of the door. It's a 2-part door, so now he's got some extra ventilation up there. But the airplane flies just fine that way. He might actually open it up on landing on purpose because it increases some drag back there. So is everybody in our crowd having fun? Are you glad you came out here to Gainesville? I'm so glad you're here. My name is Jughead Council. I've been doing air shows for 19 years before I retired out of that business and got into the STOL flying, and not only the flying part, but just bringing the STOL aviation and backcountry flying.
Charlie 11's on the ground. Charlie 2 is next. Is that correct?
You fly or not,
Charlie 12.
I really appreciate you being here, and it's great to get to know and see the smiling faces. Hopefully you're having fun, because I know I'm having fun as well. We appreciate our drone pilot up here getting us some unique footage, and I know the guys on Live Airshow TV are getting some great images, great production for our folks watching online. The cool thing is there's getting to be more and more STOL competitions around the U.S. We've got New Holstein the weekend before Oshkosh, just across the lake. We have the STOL demonstrations at Oshkosh. Soon, I don't know if it's going to be this year, but soon you're going to see STOL drag racing at Oshkosh. Mark my words. You got the High Sierra fly-in, 1,000 people, over 400 airplanes on a private dry lake bed in northern Nevada. Third weekend of October, put on by Kevin Quinn, one of the coolest backcountry flying events you can attend to. More fireworks than is probably legal. Arkansas is putting on a great show. There's been some shows out in Texas. We've got Independence, Oregon, the Experimental Aircraft Association. 292 puts on a great one in August as well. This sport is growing. Our host here is looking to take this event nationally. They're looking to grow the industry. Maine has a bunch of events coming up, and we're going to be talking about those real soon. We've got people flying in this competition from Washington, Arizona to Maine to Florida and the Yukon territories. If we could have got an airplane from our friends out of New Zealand, we would have pretty much had half the world covered. That was a nice landing right on the line. All righty, last of our bush guys coming in. And let's bring over our boys from up in the northeast corner of the state. You know, don't know which TV camera may be on us, but they'll definitely hear everything as we sit here and watch. And tell us about what Maine is going to offer us besides moose and maple syrup.
We're gonna have warm sunshine in Maine in the summertime. That's our plan. We've been inspired by this whole STOL thing that's happening, and we have a really good group of folks in the Northeast. This is my friend Chris Arnold from Dover, and we got together and we said we ought to have some STOL stuff in Maine. So what we came up with the idea, we're gonna have like like a NASCAR kind of point system that we'll start in May with Mark Kennison from Cub Crafters. Our local Cub Crafters guy sponsors a really nice one in New York. That'll be the first one, and then we'll go to the Whoopie Pie Festival in Dover, which Chris is involved. It's called Whoopie Pies and Wings.
Whoopie Pies and Wings. That's wings and whoopie pies. Wings and whoopie? Oh, this is getting better all the time.
So then from there we'll go to Pittsfield, Maine, and Caleb Curtis runs that show, and that's going to be at the Pittsfield Egg Festival, a STOL contest. Then we'll wrap up with a big grand championship at Bowman Field, and they put a real nice fly-in on in the end of August. So.
Well, that sounds like a great summer of activities for lots of pilots to enjoy and compete in, and folks to watch. Where can we get more information about that? Because I can't even pronounce half those names, let alone look them up.
Yeah. We're having a group getting together the next couple of weeks to finalize a lot of details, so we'll have a lot of the information out then, and we'll disseminate that. Everybody will get a chance to get a look at it. And yeah, we'll be on the internet. We got a bunch of stuff going. So.
All right, well, I appreciate it, and I sure support, thanks for the dinner last night, and look forward to watching you guys fly. He's got this beautiful carbon cub out there, that yellow and blue one, and you were, practice round, you were pretty good. I'm just going to put it out there. You were pretty good, so.
The plane is more capable than the pilot, but we have a good time for sure. Well, I'd like to say I got all my grandkids home watching my mom and dad down in Florida. 40 years ago, my dad showed me how to reply these dang things. I'm still doing it today, so.
Well, I'd say he did a pretty good job. So hello to all the family, and it's great to have you pass on the legacy.
Thanks, Jughead. Good job.
All righty, we're going to take a quick break here for some TV commercials. We'll come back as we get ready for our next bush landing. All righty, we're going to pick up this last guy. He's coming in a little bit on about 1.5 degree line. A little higher, a little more stable. There's that sink. Oh, he's not going to catch it enough, though. Oh, all right. Now, I think our TV producer in my ear is telling me it is time to go to break. Guys leaning up the engines out here, popping, getting those airplanes ready.
Make a 180 for the back taxi, and I'll let you know when to turn back around from that. 14, 13, 12, and 11 off the ramp in order that way.
The Kodiak is one of the most modern,
sure you're coming out
rugged, and versatile turboprop aircraft produced today, considered by many to be the luxury SUV of the sky. One small detail that makes a world of difference is a wing design with a discontinuous leading edge. This is actually 2 wing profiles that are married together, allowing air to flow smoothly over the outboard wing and control surfaces, even in conditions that would cause the inboard wing to stall, improving control of the plane at slower
Hotel
speeds.
Yankee, when you get to where the pavement changes,
Fuel storage in the wings sits behind the main spar for increased safety. If the wing should strike an object, the fuel is less likely to ignite than if the tanks are farther forward. The Kodiak also runs off plentiful diesel jet fuel, adding unparalleled safety and efficiency. The height and the strength of the landing gear was designed to handle unimproved landing strips in remote areas. The Kodiak's four-bladed prop has 19 inches of clearance, giving peace of mind when landing on unimproved airstrips. The Kodiak 100 was the first single-engine turboprop with a Garmin 1000 avionics package. Since its 2004 introduction, the Kodiak has incorporated the latest avionics as standard equipment, like the GFC 700 autopilot with the level switch included, a first for any turboprop airplane. The Kodiak offers high-quality interiors. The plane's seats allow easy removal and storage in the optional external cargo compartment. The days of choosing cargo or seats are over. And the Kodiak's huge panoramic windows at eye level provide an unprecedented flying experience for the passengers.
Charlie 11, when you get past the red vehicle there, you can make your 180 and then take the line and hold.
Charlie 11, I'm making a 180 and coming to the line and hold.
So, after you guys land on your second pass, you'll go all the way down to the Delta taxiway after you land and make a right turn short of runway 1836, okay?
Charlie 11, I understand.
I'm following 11.
Well, welcome back to Gainesville in the Lonestar STOL Competition, ladies and gentlemen. If you're here in the crowd line, well, this rain shower, it may be coming down in big drops right now pretty hard, but it's actually a very small radar return. It is going to pass very quickly, so stick with us as our next session of Bush category airplanes are pulling up. Here's one of the early Huskies, packing this belly pod as well. We're going to slide in here under the cover just a bit.
To get done watching their commercials.
Charlie 11, go when ready.
Charlie 11 can go now.
You gotta love aviation here in Texas. They're making us earn it today. Gonna take a little load off my feet. I'm not saying it's wet right now, but there was actually little waves running across the chalk start-finish line. It is definitely going to affect our braking action. There's enough water starting to pool on the taxiway that they're using for the runway that it's going to affect their drag and increase their takeoff roll as well. Yep.
I did the same thing I did last time. Charlie 12,
okay.
You can go when you're ready.
Good news is, literally, that rain shower is already letting up. The sun is getting brighter as that Husky very quickly gets airborne. The wind has picked back up as well and has turned back to about a right 45-degree quartering wind. About 8 miles an hour, giving us 3 to 4 miles an hour of headwind component, 3 to 4 of crosswind. Here's 70 Lima Lima. This beautiful 13. Husky is for sale. Don't let it pass you up. Those big bush wheels rolling through the water, no problem, getting airborne nicely. You notice he actually angled from the left side of the runway to the right side. That's putting as much of that wind right on his nose, giving him as much of an advantage as possible, making the most of his environment. Everybody down at the far end of the hangar, you're no dummies, having a good time in the party down there. Great food vendors back here. If you haven't been back to check out a corn dog, grab some lunch. There's wonderful stuff. Oh, that was a nice takeoff right there. These Huskies are putting on a show. You know he's serious when he's got a cigar.
Charlie 15, roll.
It's not lit yet.
Charlie 11, turning final.
But I'll bet you if he wins that
Charlie
gold
11,
buckle,
you're
he'll
good.
have that cigar lit up tonight. Oh, I like it. Bright skies to the south. We got brighter skies out to the west. The ceilings are getting up. The rain has let off again. Our experimental LSA STOL airplanes are getting warmed up. This is going to keep being a good show. Here's one of our old classic Huskies, bringing it in, dropping it a little long, little bit of a bounce. Good thing about bush wheels, you put them down hard, they'll take the energy. But if they're a little too much pressure or a little too much drop, they might bounce you back up. Now Acme shock though, you throw some Acme shocks on those airplanes, adjust the rebound,
Charlie
you'll
11,
get rid
go
of
all the way
that.
down to the Delta taxiway, make a right turn, and then taxi southbound on runway 18 to the departure end and exit there.
So what does it take for somebody to come out here? I've told you, we've got guys that have less than 100 hours competing, but they've spent all their flight training focusing on this area of aviation. You've got guys here with over 15,000 hours that have spent their whole career operating in the backcountry, flying this type of work in a real-life environment. The great thing about STOL aviation, though, is Thursday night we were all sitting in the hangar over there, just hangar talk, just talking about different techniques and talking about different concepts and ways to improve your flying skills and things that we've seen that can get you and passing on. It's a small community, it's competitive, but we're all here to help each other fly better, safer, and smarter. Now these winds they're picking up a little. I think the guys who are warming up right now are gonna enjoy a little extra headwind component. Right now, Darren and Dale, Eddie and Todd are Huskies, and I don't think our super legend, he didn't make it in, but tougher conditions. The winds are kind of changing on each pass. Definitely
Charlie
different
12,
now than
just
when the
follow
guys
your
took off
buddy
5
ahead.
minutes ago.
You'll be back taxiing down runway 18 all the way to the
Of course,
end.
out in the backcountry, there's no wind socks, there's no ASOS, there's no way to figure out what the wind is and what the weather's doing, except by looking outside and analyzing it based on experience and what you see. Reading the waves on the water, reading the leaves on the trees. Nice landing, good stop. People putting their hands together, they appreciate that performance, absolutely. And one of the things out in the real world of backcountry flying, you know, a lot of times you're on top of a mountain or you're down in the bottom of a canyon or riverbed, and the winds aren't true. And what I mean by not true is the winds will swirl. You may fly 100 yards and have a wind 90 degrees different than what you just had where you took off or where you started your takeoff roll, or know that as you're coming in on approach, you're going to have winds blowing over a ridge, giving you lift here, sinking environment,
Are we
sinking air
done
somewhere
with two?
else,
Are we doing more?
or up on top of the ridges coming from different directions. So it's always challenging. And one of the important things in this backcountry flying, even this morning, we said knock it off. Conditions just got too poor when we started flying. We had to take a break.
Go ahead and
Wait
park
until
now if we're done.
conditions
If we're
improve. And
near
there's
our
times
parking
that I'll
spot.
come into a sandbar that I've been into 100
Well, you're
times.
gonna get one more,
and some days it's
a
just
little
not
bit
right.
later,
I don't
and
feel
if you
right. The
wanna
airplane's
be
not
where
right.
you
The
need
weather's
to be
not
for
right.
staging, you'll wanna
It's
be back
always
down
easy
here
to
on
go
the,
around and do it
south
another
side.
day.
Okay.
Oh, early touchdown, a little bounce. That's going to add to the distance just a little.
And
But
Charlie
short in,
12, where
gets
should
it-
I go?
Gets it stopped pretty well.
Charlie 12, you want to take the runway.
Even
Keep
here in the
going all way to end
competition,
there,
the pilot
all
has
the way
the
to the end,
option to go
and then
around.
make
If
a
it's
right
not
turn,
safe approach,
and then you can check
something's
in on
right,
ground
not
control.
right, he can safely go around and it does not
What is it,
count against him.
123.4. Once you clear runway 18 at the departure end, start your taxi and check in on 23.4.
Thank you.
Yeah, Charlie 11 switching to ground.
We've talked about the Huskies a lot, but Ladd Gardner, he's out there protecting all our pilots, all their assets with Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance. He was with us earlier here today, a little bit long on that one. He's going to make sure it counts, though, because he knows the other ones were short. We'd also like to thank Boomerang Air, Airframes Alaska, Legend Aircraft, TK1 Racing, and Garmin. Garmin's got a great display over in the Airs Aviation hangar. Check out their latest in avionics, get integrated ADSB, multi-function panels, the latest and greatest for your airplane. And for those outdoors, whether you're backcountry flying, skiing, check out a Garmin InReach emergency locator personal radio. Great safety device. As well as the cameras we've got here on the ground up on the platform for Live Air Show TV. We'd sure like to thank you, Voxel, for the aerial footage that they're providing today with the drone that you'll see operating up behind us and out across the line. Unique shots being brought to you to bring the most to your Lonestar STOL competition. And we are having so much fun here. It is a blast. Check this out. Husky. That is a good-looking hat right there, and those are the men and women who bring you the best backcountry airplanes, and they bring you Lonestar STOL. This is the first time we've had it. Everybody out here is trying to get the best takeoff and best landing on one pass because they want to take home that big, beautiful gold buckle from National Roper Supply. You can't come to Texas and win and not take home a little bit of pizzazz. It's been a good day so far. We're getting everybody through their first 2 rounds. What's going to happen is if we finish the first 2 rounds, we'll take a short break. That'll give everybody a chance to go take a break at home, throw some nachos in the oven. The folks here to go get lunch, hot cup of coffee, whatever, and then we're coming back for the final round of all the competitors. Everybody's going to get one last chance to get it done, including myself, and see if I can improve on my first 2 rounds, give Jeff a run for his money.
Okay, going out in this flight is Delta 1 through 5. Delta 1, if you're the red and white tail dragger facing me, pull up to the line. Delta 4, I believe that's Delta 3 off your left side there.
Okay, here's our next line. This is experimental bush. So these airplanes, even though some of them started out as certified aircraft, they have now all been converted into the experimental category. It's either because they were built as a Super Cub and taken out to the expedition or exhibition category. Things that you'll see that make them experimental, different engines, leading edge slats like you see on this beautiful Super Cub right now.
Delta 1, go. Delta 2, yep, just pull up to the line.
That big bore prop is roaring as he rotates. You notice those slats on the leading edge actually popped up, increasing the airflow over the front of that wing. Now here it comes up. Let's see.
Correct, sir. I'm going behind the bush air.
This thing's so modified. Looks like an early Cub variant. Leading edge slats, modified cowl and engine. It might have some carbon Cub features to it. He's got some weight on the T3 tail spring to get the CG just right. It looks like a big set of Behringer wheels and brakes with his Alaska bush gear. This thing's like a monstrosity. Who knows what it is?
Left crosswind, please. Delta 2, go.
Whatever it is, that was good. I didn't see the whole initial takeoff because I was looking down, but when I looked up, it was already 15 feet in the air.
Delta 3, you
that
can
comes
take the
in,
line when you're
looks
ready
like
there.
Wes Schwartz there with his Backcountry P18. All right, here is CC.
You calling our downwind?
Bush Air. Now, what have we done? We've put
I wasn't
VGs,
planning on it. I haven't
Sportsman
been.
cuff. He doesn't have his leading edge slats on, even though the airplane
normal or
has
shorter,
them equipped.
and you're good.
Pumped up horsepower, almost 200 horse out of this Continental 0300,
Up to
operating
3,
in
go.
the experimental category. That is why CC has won Oshkosh. He has won Valdez Stoll. He has won Sodbusters. There's a very good chance that man may walk out of here winning the first Lone Star Stoll experimental bush category. He's giving him a run for the money, that's for sure. Well, here's our Just Highlander. Super Stoll, actually. Good looking airplane, different design, lightweight. It's Tony Armour. He rotates, gets airborne, nicely fades it into the wind. Georgia boy right there showing us just how to do it. The mother of all Cubs. It's a legend. He's even got the 2 gun racks on. You know you're in Texas when the airplanes have their own guns. Helmet.
Up to 5, go.
Nope, I'm sorry. Just a baseball cap. Door flies, reaches up with that left hand, pulls on those flaps, gets that beautiful airplane airborne. That is a super legend, AL-18, John Wisdom out of Texas flying that bird. I like his Army logo up top. Now what you're going to see, these leading edge slats, what they do, they really allow these airplanes to increase their angle of attack. Come in really slow, nose high. It makes it a little tougher to see the landing zone, but it sure slows down the approach speed. Let's see if we can carry it all the way. It's a rudder dance, and that one touches just a little early. Now remember, it's the main tire that counts. If the tail wheel touches early, that's okay.
Keep it rolling
but that
all the way
one
down
was
to
all
the
just a
gear,
little early.
on your left side,
The
down
more
the ramp
performance you get out of your wing, the closer you are to the edge, the easier it is sometimes to step over the
Roger that.
Woo. Okay. Highly modified Carbon Cub.
Go ahead.
Butch Kingston out of Idaho. Dancing the tail, dancing the power, carrying it, chop it, drop it. That one's good. Look at the tire skidded up the whole way. Oh! That was good. That was real good. You got to know your airplane, know your capabilities. It is very discomforting to come in and land with your tires locked up, but it can safely be done with the right pilot, the right equipment, the right conditions. Now, CC, multi-time winner. He's going to get this Cessna 170. It's a B model, highly modified, converted to the exhibition experimental category. Let's see how he does. Fighting the wind, carrying the power. That one's gonna probably get, just a little short. Just a little short.
Where's Delta 1 at?
Off to the left where the King Air, there's a ramp with the King
Good
Air
example of
parked down
Airframe's
there to your
Alaska
left.
T3 on that tail as well, helping to set it down with less impact to the airframe. Increase in safety, reducing fatigue. All right, here comes our Super Stoll again. Big, high-performance shocks, you'll notice go all the way up from those tires up to the outside of the fuselage. Those are adjustable, tunable to get both absorption and rebound. Look back, you can watch that elevator, you can watch that rudder as it's dancing. That pilot is working it. The dancing shoes are on. Tough to see. He's looking out the side. There's the pole. Oh, that was beautiful. That was within a foot. Right tire's locked up. Left side coming to a stop. Woo! That was good. And that's exactly why you've got that outrigger style gear. When he got it to the point that he didn't want it to fly anymore, he was able to chop the power and knew that the airframe and the landing gear suspension system was built to take that vertical impact. Helps absorb that kinetic energy, takes forward energy, dissipates it, helping to produce that less than 100-foot landing distance. Here's our mother of all cubs, Super Legend. Little bit long, but he's got one in the books. He's got a counter. Yeah, big round for the Army of Texas boy.
Delta 5, when they wave you off, you can make a 180 and back taxi, and then come off the ramp, 3, 2, 1.
All right, looking left, looking right. The air boss is going to get all of them spun back around. Reset for the next round. It's great to see such a wonderful crowd out here. It looks like we've got 500-600 people easily, and that means you're some hardcore STOL fans, because it's not the most beautiful day in Texas, but it is a beautiful day nonetheless, and it's so great everybody's out here. I hope everybody out on Live Air Show TV is having fun as well. If you are, go to Live Air Show TV, Facebook, YouTube, or .com. Leave some comments. Post a photo. We're going to grab some of those photos, reach out to you, and get some gifts mailed off to you. We've got T-shirts from the Flying Cowboys, books out of CC. Got some great gifts from Fat Tire Cowboys as well. We want everybody out there watching online to know that you are an important part of what we're doing here and why we're doing it. Not everybody can travel to Texas. We know that. But you tell your friends about what you're seeing here. Make sure you find out when the next event is going to be, either in your area or online. And let's just keep growing this wonderful STOL short takeoff and landing competition, short takeoff and landing backcountry flying aviation environment. If you want to learn more about it, reach out to the pilots. Look on social media. Send us a message. We'll reply to you. We'll talk to you. We'll share our love of what we do in this special arena of aviation. Because for us, this is a great big fun family. We love performing, we love meeting new people, and we would love to have you be a part of it. Whether it's as a pilot, a spectator, or just someone out there going, this is cool, I've never seen it before. Or performers are taxiing back down the line, they're getting reset. Winds, I think they're gonna like this next circuit. This wind is again shifting. It's going from 30 degrees left of the nose to about 45, 50. Sit there, watch those flags, make sure it's you maximize when you release the brakes and throw full power into those engines, and you could shorten your roll by 5-6 feet, enough for you to take home the gold buckle.
Delta 1, as soon as you get across the line, you can just make your 180 right here.
If one of our pilots, Darren Hart, is available, we ask you to go on down to your airplane, jump in line, or get a hold of the air boss or the ground boss on the radio, Darren Hart. Okay, coming back around. We got an arrow, looks like the arrow's just taken off. Wes Schwartz out of Texas with his Backcountry PA-18, leading edge slats, Fowler flaps. Listening to the motor, I'd say it's got a little bit more underneath it than an average Cub.
Runway 36
means 180 horsepower plus. I'm walking to the back, seeing what else I may see that's modified on here.
And you can depart when you're ready.
T3 suspension on the tail wheel, baby bush wheel, of course big Alaska bush wheel as well. Pops the flaps down, increase the AOA with almost full back stick, and that airplane was airborne in about 100 feet. The man that laid down the mark in the first round. Looking good with that helmet on, additional safety layer. This Carbon Cub is a machine. It is a beast.
Traffic's going east, roger that.
Butch
Delta
Kingston.
2, good to go.
Idaho.
Go on, push the crosswind if you would, please.
Well, looking at the end numbers, I don't think that's Butch. I'm not sure who that is, but it is serious pilot and quite a machine. Well, I'm sure we're going to figure out exactly who that is because we're going to hear more about him. All right, CC had a good takeoff, but I know he did not like his landing. Best tugs on the side of that airplane. Tally-ho Aviation and the Flying Cowboys, bringing backcountry flying adventure to people all over YouTube.
Yeah, Delta 1, I lost you.
Oh, that was a great takeoff. Now
beam Charlie and downwind, left downwind.
Landing down. He scratched it earlier.
Tally-ho.
He knows he's got 2 good landings, or 2 good takeoffs. He's got to take advantage of it, though. It's a package deal.
Delta 1.
Down here outside the noise zone a little more. They seem to be quieter over here.
When you're ready there, there'll be traffic departing ahead.
Dear Mom, I'm having a really good time in Texas. It rains a lot, and I haven't seen any cows. Send more barbecue money. Our Super STOL probably running a road tax. I don't know. We don't have that listed on all our data. But, whew, yeah, it's a lot better down here. Here, let me help you with this photo. I'll give you a nice.
And
yeah.
When you're ready, you can go.
I love it with the door open. You can see everything you're doing. You can see his knees pumping on the rudder pedals. You can see that left hand up on the flap. Oh, that's a good view of that mother of all Cubs, Legend airplane. Check out the wigwag and LED lights on the gear now as we come back in for our next round of landings. Our drone operating back behind us, giving us those great shots. Okay, Backcountry Cub.
Go all the way down
we
to
need
the Delta
to do it.
taxiway for a right turn. Delta
looking
taxiway
stable. He's got that line in sight. Flares it
Delta
out.
5's going to turn into Delta 8 with a different pilot.
He probably didn't need that burst of power, but that's real easy to say from here. Sitting in that airplane, there's no airspeed indicator. There's no angle of attack indicator. It is simply experience.
I'll be at the back of the next group.
What that airplane feels like. How much air pressure am I feeling over the elevator? What are the wings telling me? And he misjudged it by 100 RPM, 2-3 mile an hour. It's pretty good when you're not going to be happy with a 20-foot miss on your landing target. Now these guys are bringing these airplanes in at about 30 mile an hour. Oh, that was good. He did it twice. Mr. Consistency. Look at that. Woo! Wave your hat. He can see that, folks. Nice job. Now, CC's on a short final. He saw where that airplane stopped. He doesn't know exactly how short it was, but he knows it was short.
Delta 1,
this
are you
man
on?
Doesn't like to lose contact.
Delta 1's down here by the King Air.
Many.
Delta 1,
he is going to have to
follow
step
Delta
it up
2.
here.
Delta 2, go all the way down to the Delta taxiway there and make a right turn. Taxi back down runway 18.
Oh.
Okay, down to Charlie and back down.
Would have been a really
18.
nice Chinook salmon.
Correct. Next right turn and then down 18. Thanks. Delta 1, just follow Delta 2 there going by.
Okay. Our Super STOL out of Just. Gonna ride that vertical elevator down. Power for glide path. Pitching for airspeed. Dancing on the rudder. High nose, he can't see his landing zone. He's looking out the side for it. Settling. There's the power to catch it. He's looking, he's dancing, There, oh! God! We are talking a quarter of a second difference between being past the line when he pulled the power and touching down 2 feet short like you did.
All the way down there and follow them to parking back down runway 18.
I hope everybody's having fun out here. Jughead Council, we are having a blast. Here comes our next competitor. If you want to see more great flying, go to YouTube Jughead Council and check out our 170. Dakota and I having fun in the Pacific Northwest. So I don't know what it was on that approach. Obviously, he carried it long. You could tell he carried it long. He wasn't. I wouldn't say he wasn't trying.
And if Delta 5 can get a 180 and go to the back, we're going to turn into Delta 8.
Right on the line
go ahead and do that.
So some good
Delta
airmanship.
1 is at intersection Charlie.
Oh, we got some more beautiful carbon cubs fired up out here, getting warmed up for the next round. Here comes one of our
you guys, Delta 1
Zeniths.
and 3.
And before long, we're going to have
all the way down to
our Chinook,
not that first intersection, the
Lawnmower
second one,
3, and of course Yeehaw 6 with
Delta
Steve
2
Henry.
is going to follow Delta 3, or not.
Delta 2, can I just taxi to parking?
It's just a different guy. You can, Delta 2, that's fine if you're going to stay in the grass there. Delta 7, take the line.
7 to line.
So as we get started here on our next round of competition, we're going to move into our next category of performers as well. These are the light sport experimentals. So you're going to see a variation of Cub Crafters Carbon Cubs. You're going to see a mixed mash airplane flown by our own leader, Doug Jackson here. It's got a kind of Cub fuselage, a crazy Cessna wing, who knows what engine. Our first one here is a Carbon Cub FX3.
I'm sorry, Delta 7 you are. You're
this
good
is
to go when you're ready.
1 Lima Golf. Who we got?
And Delta 4, can we taxi the end of the runway and back up Alpha to go to the concrete ramp?
Don't have it listed, but they're getting that airplane nicely airborne. Coming in at less than 1,320 pounds to qualify as the LSA.
Delta 8, take the line.
Okay, Delta 8's coming up there from the back. This is Delta 9 out here on Charlie.
Now Doug's airplane, this is really unique. It's got Super Cub tail feathers, Cessna 172 wings, a highly modified Cub type of airframe.
Okay, MOX up.
One-off external landing gear, much like you see on the Highlanders or the Just, with exterior shocks. I think brought to you by Acme. Lighter, safer, stronger.
Okay, Delta 8, be advised I just lost Delta 7 in the clouds there. Delta...
We're going to get another round out of our mother of all Cubs legend.
It was about 1,200
gun
feet.
pods and all, beautiful LED tip lights flashing.
You call my base.
Behringer wheel and brakes maximizing his takeoff performance. Now, if there was a favor, this would be the man. This is the man who's been putting on this show. He's got his his Cowboy Supply, Flying Cowboy Supply helmet there. But might be bad
Delta
style
9,
to
go
actually
when you're
win
ready.
your own contest. Well, I think he's out here for fun.
Delta 10, take the line.
Woo! But that airplane did
Delta
it.
7, turn your base.
Turn base 7.
That
Delta
was
10, if you're
impressive,
ready,
wasn't
take
it,
the line.
folks? Wow. So we've got our performers lining up on final. Actually came to a fairly traditional final. He's about 300 feet, about a mile out. Especially this first pattern. You want to kind of get stable. You want to get set up. Like when I
Delta
take off
10,
with
are
my
you on the
airplane, I've
frequency?
got my trim mostly all the way forward. I get airborne, trim a whole bunch out, and then when I'm coming into land, I've got the trim all the way back. Got to get the airplane completely configured for a different phase of flight, and that second pattern of mine was only about 45 seconds, just went up to about 200 feet, turned a real short final. Getting a feel for the winds. They've kind of died down. Probably the lightest wind we've had, but it's right down the runway. I would say maybe 10, 15 degrees off is all. So hopefully they get a nice smooth ride down final. Set the power. Set the angle of attack. Get that aim point perfectly on the windscreen. Not moving up, not moving down. Small power adjustments. Each power adjustment requiring a little bit of elevator and rudder adjustment as well. All the way down. The first of our experimental LSAs, Carbon Cub FX3, was good. That is about as close as you can get and still call it good. I call that hitting the line. He's got some white marks on it. It was a long rollout though, so I don't think he's going to be as pleased with it as it looked. Maybe he had to add just a little burst of power there at the end, or he may have actually thought he scratched and didn't get on the brakes all the way, but that was there. It's actually kind of nice having that puddle right there. We get a kick up of water, and it makes it a little easier for our head line judge to know exactly whether these guys touched on the line or not. Our legend, Mother of All Cubs, one more time. He's going to bring it in low the whole way. Minimum airspeed. This tells me that he's really comfortable with the winds. He thinks they're going to be consistent, smooth, and it sure looks like it. Airplane stable, riding it in. Oh, and a misjudge by about 6 inches, which results in touching down about 8 feet short. But he sure put on a couple good passes earlier, so I think he's going to be happy with what he's got in the bank. All right, here's our organizer, Doug. A crazy airplane. It's like you just took a bunch of leftover spare parts. I got some of this. Hey, look, there's a 172. Give me that wing. Give me the other wing. Now, he's definitely having some wind issues. He did not get the same wind that we saw just a minute ago. It is picked up, pumping the power. Can it carry it? Can it carry it? No, that was a beautiful smooth landing, as smooth as you can get just about, but it is short.
Delta 8, you can make a 180 when you're ready.
We
Delta
saw the great
7,
takeoff,
follow
but
them
it
off
doesn't do
their,
any good unless
ramp
you can
there.
back it up with the landing as
And,
well.
Delta 9, after they mark you. Actually, I don't think they're going to mark you, Doug. You can make the 180 and back taxi.
Everybody out there, I hope you're having fun on Live Air Show TV, Facebook, YouTube, and .com. Leave those comments so we can pick out some of those comments. Send you some freebies, handouts from our Flying Cowboys. Thanks to Corey Robin. We've got some zaps from Jughead Dakota. Got some books from CC. A little bit of light rain starting to pick up here again. Check it out, all plexiglass doors on the side of Doug's airplane. That is a beautiful, beautiful Cub. Behringer wheels and brakes, lightweight, high performance.
Delta 7, once you get
And of course, I
across
sure
the line,
can't
you
thank
can
the
just
great
make the
folks
180.
at Ladd Gardner
And Doug, you
Aviation
can 180
Insurance and
anytime there
Aviat
as well.
Husky for helping to bring this event to reality here in Gainesville, setting the standard for new STOL competitions. Well, what I'd love to see is how this rain is really going to affect the guys. Now, just like driving in the rain, it's a little bit tougher to see. These airplanes aren't really going fast enough to get all the rain to beat off the windscreen very well. They're fighting the humidity and condensation inside the airplane. I had my glasses
Delta
on, it was
7,
making
go
it
when you're
tougher
ready.
to see them. Open up the windows, open up the vents. And you'll notice throughout that entire takeoff roll, he was rolling through standing water, especially on that left tire. That is going to increase the rolling resistance, or the drag is going to increase the takeoff distance. One disadvantage of a larger tire is it'll have a little more drag in the water than, say, a smaller 8.5 type
Delta
tire
8,
that you
go.
saw running on some of the 180s. Now, if you get airborne as quick as that, it doesn't matter. Or maybe line up 5-6 feet to the right and run both tires through a drier portion of the concrete can help. Now, Doug had a great takeoff earlier. I'm going to enjoy watching this again, but he's going to have to put down a landing if he wants to think about hitting the podium here.
Double D, go.
That was definitely another good takeoff, no doubt about it. That Sky Cowboys Supply Company, that helmet Doug's got, it's so cool. Check them out. You can get it modified to wear with any aviation headset, increase your safety. Oh, I love it. Here comes our
Doug, are your
Chinook.
flaps supposed to come up one at a
I
time?
see Steve Henry's got the
Yeah, they
airplane
come up
pulled
slow.
up to the
I got a
front
real
line
weak
down there.
spring on
These
'em.
guys will be coming up
All right,
soon.
yeah, they were one
A
was
few more
much lower
passes
than
out
the
of
other,
our
just to let you
experimental
know.
light support, guys. Now remember, as we
FYI, guys, we got a little low cloud deck
sit
out
and
here,
watch these
crosswind
guys take
to
off and
downwind.
land, it is a combined score. So it's not
Roger
just
that.
your best takeoff and landing. It has to be your best takeoff and landing on the same pass. And that isn't always easy. Realize we get to see everybody else flying. The pilots out here, they don't know what their competitors are doing. So they've got some mind games to do with, not only with themselves, but what's that guy out there that I'm competing against? How did he do? What am I hearing? Am I hearing any scores on the radio? Am I watching him land ahead of me? Did I see him take off ahead of me? Have I got a safe landing in the book that now I'm willing to take a little more risky approach on this next landing and try to get me the touchdown landing that I need? We'll see. Our next chance coming in here. Here's our Carbon Cub back. He had a great right on the line last time, but a longer rollout. This time a little bit longer on the line, but a better overall deceleration stop. So I think he's going to be happier with that. We got 3 passes for everybody so far today. 2 this morning. Actually, I'm sorry, we'll be up to 4 passes by the end of the day. And so it's going to be that best combined score out of
Delta
all
7,
those passes. We
I'll
had some
give you a
better wind
choice. You
earlier
can pull
today.
off by the King Air, or you can go down to Delta,
Might have been
make
that
the right
first
turn and
couple
go down
passes.
runway 18.
It was
Just let me
gustier.
know.
It was a little more challenging.
Okay, I'll
That might
guess I'll
be
go to the
where
end
we
and
find
go
our
180.
winners.
Roger that.
The great news is the weather's continuing to look good for us. We had that very, very brief little minor shower, and it's already stopped again. We're getting increased visibilities, increased ceilings throughout the greater Gainesville area. So I think we're going to be good throughout the rest of the day to bring all the stages and all the heats to you. Oh, just slightly short once again. Too bad on that one. Sure like to thank our finest experimental amateur-built utility aircraft kits. Those are Bearhawks, whether it's the Bearhawk, the Patrol, or the Bearhawk LSA. Bearhawk aircraft for all your backcountry flying adventures. I also like to thank Best Tugs because your plane deserves it. Grip Lock Ties, protect, control, and reuse, helping to bring the Lonestar STOL Competition to you. And here's our director, Doug, and I'm afraid this one's going to land short or he's going to need some power. There's the power. Touch it. Oh, that was on the line. That was good. He's going to like it. This is, oh, yes.
Nicely done, Doug.
The man who brought it all just showed it all to you. Nice work.
Delta 8, you can make the 180 if you're wanting to.
I'd also like to thank globalair.com, connecting you to aviation info and resources. Of course, those buckles the winners are going to wear today are brought to you by National Roper Supply. Tannis Aircraft Products will take care of your aviation safety. Make those starts easier with a Tannis preheater.
Down there at Delta Taxiway and taking the runway.
The man's smiling. He's happy. He liked what he did.
Thank you much. Echo 1, I believe it is.
Would also like to thank Boomerang Air, one of our gold sponsors, as well as Garmin. Great display, great avionics, great innovation. Find out what Garmin can do for you, both in your airplane and on the ground. Garmin InReach, great safety radio for you as well in the event that the worst happens. I'd also like to thank Airframes Alaska, Boomerang Air, and TK1 Racing.
Boss, Echo 1 is up.
Echo 1, take the line.
Now, we heard a little bit earlier about the neat events coming up in Maine. Well, this beautiful blue and yellow with silver checkerboard Carbon Cub, this was flown by our Maine gentleman. And he was nailing it in practice. So I'm excited to see what he does in the competition. It's Jim Crane. It's a Carbon Cub SS. He's setting everything just right. Tap of the throttle, a tap of the instrument panel, releases the brake, gets her airborne quickly. Nice, impressive climb out. I think he's going to be happy with that first effort.
Dan?
Okay. Our Chinook, I think, is coming up here soon.
Echo 3, are you up?
Air boss, Echo 3, I'm up.
The first time we're going to see a Kid Fox flying here today. Got that beautiful round cowl design. What a classic looking airplane.
Do you want me to line, Air boss?
All around
Echo
performer.
3, take the line and depart when you're ready.
Dan Reynolds out of Yukon.
Echo 3, roger.
Here he comes. This man is setting the standard up at Valdez.
No pressure, eh?
Airplane
Guy from the Yukon.
Down in Houston, Texas area. He put it in a trailer, drove all the way down from the Yukon. This airplane is capable, with the right winds, of, we're talking 30-foot stuff. Incredible. It's like sitting in a bathtub with wings.
Echo 4, take the line.
Pumping the brakes, pumping the flight controls, checking everything. Fine-tuning. Ladies and gentlemen, one, two, three. That was less than a 3-second takeoff roll in our Valdez Super by Jim Reynolds. Nice job.
Echo 4, depart as soon as you can. Traffic
Kit Fox Model 4, Rotex 912.
Echo
He didn't waste any time with that one. Get it up and get it going.
Echo 1 landed.
Levi Noguez out of Texas. Nice thing about that airplane, he trailered it here. The wings are designed to fold up. Put it on a flatbed trailer, rolled it in behind him. A great feature. When I'm retiring in a few years, I would love to get myself a nice motorhome, an enclosed trailer, maybe go down and see Steve Henry, Napa, Idaho, build up a Highlander, folding wings as well, fold it up and take it around the country with my wife. Who knows?
Yeah, 1, 3, and 4, and then we'll get 5 and 6
Okay,
out.
high and to the right. Probably flying the steepest approach we have seen all day. Our Sport Cub. This is the main, boys. Maple syrup and moose. Little burst of power, going to carry him a little long. Good aggressive braking, though. He's got one in the books, but I know he's not quite going to be happy with it. And what we saw out of him yesterday, I know he is capable of a lot better than that.
Go 1, go
Now,
down to the
everybody down on the
ramp with
far left.
finger on it to your left,
Everybody on
and pull
TV,
over to
get
your left.
up and get
Roger,
ready,
F1.
because this right here, it could be a super impressive landing. I'm actually going to get out of everybody's way because I don't want to block the view either. The winds right now,
Kit Fox,
right
if you
quartering
wanna make it
headwind,
360
8
there
mile an hour.
And come back, that's fine. You're going to need a little room.
Roger.
Approach speed, high 20s. Wet runway conditions is going to make the braking coefficient a little lower. So we might not see a 30-foot landing, maybe a 35.
That's plenty of room. Thanks. You can bring it back in.
The great thing about the Chinook design, he's completely surrounded by plexiglass. He can see exactly where that airplane is aimed. Great view. Leading edge slats, great view. Oh, and just slightly short. But look at that braking effort. No prop up front, so you can really get on the brakes.
Straight ahead down to the ramp there, Stan, and I'll call your left turn off.
Echo 3.
That was in about the 35
How many
foot
feet did I
range.
scratch by?
Unfortunately, the first 5 feet resulted in a DQ. Pretty impressive, though, huh?
Echo 1, verify you're clear of the landing surface down there by the Kinger.
Echo 1 is right in front of the
so
King
it's
here.
still an open
Okay,
competition right now. Anybody's game. Kit Fox had a little longer takeoff roll, but he doesn't have the greatest horsepower compared to the weight to horsepower ratio that some of these other airplanes do. But nice light airplane, big flaperons, all about 80% span of that wing. Good, nice view around the round cowl. Let's touch it down, get on the brakes, and get a good landing in, and that one is just short. Oh, too bad, too bad.
You may go all the way to the end.
Echo 5.
All right, we got the first of our zeniths coming up here.
Echo 5, pulling to the line.
UL Power, good-looking airplane, burgundy and black. And I will be back with you in just a moment. Well, I couldn't see that takeoff because I was getting my hydraulic unit service, but I could definitely hear it, and that was sounded like a pretty impressive takeoff.
Echo 5, coming back
Jeff,
around.
was it as good as it sounded?
It was quite impressive.
It was quite impressive, as the man from Minnesota says. Okay. I'm
Thank you,
looking
sir.
left, I'm looking right. I'm anxious to see what is coming next for us. The suspense. This is where it gets really, really good. Waiting for Zenith to come back around. He's got the pattern to himself right now. Let's see here. I think that gentleman is out of Tennessee, Mr. John Humbred. And I think our second Zenith coming up here is going to be Mr. Ted Blumaker out of Nebraska. It's nice to see a couple of these airplanes in the competition. We haven't had one at STOL or at Oshkosh STOL yet, but it is definitely a performing airplane. Great home built, easy to build, good performance, economical.
Echo 5, starting final.
Here comes John, back around final. What you're going to notice with this airplane, tricycle gear configuration, high camber, high lift wing. Nose is going to be up really slow, using some power. Once he gets it on the ground, though, he should really be able to get into some heavy braking. Winds are probably as straight down the runway as we have had since about 11 o'clock this morning. Blowing 8 miles an hour. The Husky flags, the Fat Tire Cowboy flags, all flapping beautifully in this Texas breeze. Here he comes. Oh! It stopped short. Skidding on the wet pavement. Unfortunately, he had to add just a burst of power at the last minute.
Okay, waiting.
And that wing said, oh, I'll keep flying for you. The trailing edge flaps, those leading edge flaps, it just floated about 25 feet past the line.
Echo 4, come off the ramp down there. There's one other guy coming off behind Dan off the main ramp. Let him out in front of you, and then you guys follow him down.
Echo 4. Taxiing straight back down to where the end of the RVs, I guess. Echo 5.
Are we going to see
you just keep taxiing straight ahead,
the new world
and I'll
record
let
in
you know
STOL
what
competition?
to do. And
Is the
Echo
wind
5,
going to pick up, or
go
is it going to die
until
down?
the pavement changes surfaces, and then make a 180 there for me, okay?
The wind
Will do.
or the rain definitely playing a factor. Wet conditions makes it tougher to get stopped. But there's a dry patch just to the right of center line. Don't know if the pilots have all noticed that,
Okay,
but
Echo 4.
aim 5 feet right of center line. Get
Right
on the
behind
brakes.
green
It's going to be
tail
better
dragger, or are
for
you
you.
number 2?
Behind the green tail dragger.
Okay, he's going to pull off to the right side. I need you to maneuver so that you'll be able to get behind Dan, who's ahead of him. Understand that?
The guys flying in the second heat, some of them...
Air boss, Echo 3, you want me to pull off here to the right by the parking so we can get repositioned?
Seeing the scratches, seeing the good
Dan,
takeoffs,
just make
seeing
a
the
180
landings.
and stop right there. You can make a
Our
180.
Kid Fox
That's
pilot,
good.
I don't know if he's going to wear it in the contest, but he's definitely going to win the mustache contest.
And Echo 1,
That
when
is
you
the
get across the
mustache
line,
of
you can
justice.
make a 180.
180
Some guys would say
for Echo
that
1,
might
sure.
even be a mustache.
So Dan, that yellow Kit Fox needs to get behind you.
There's
so
our main boy.
once you got enough room. Come out behind the yellow Kit
Beautiful
Fox.
Carbon Cub SS out of
and
Yakima,
come up
Washington.
by, the line, okay?
Echo 3, roger that.
Now, the takeoff was good. I know he didn't like his first landing performance. Great to see him wearing a helmet there as well.
Well
looks
done.
like a Cowboy
Echo 1,
Flying
take
Supply
the
helmet,
line
I
and depart
think.
when you're
I'm not
ready.
positive, but it sure looks like one of their great products.
Echo 5, can I
There
come
he
back
is.
in
He's
there behind
locked
the
on
Kit
the
Fox?
line.
I
The
think he's
judge
Echo
is
4
giving
maybe?
him the go.
Absolutely. Yep, Echo
Look
5
over
just,
everything
you
one
pull
more
up
time.
and,
Check the flaps all the
after
way
he
through.
departs
Set
from
him
the
to his
line, you can take the
pre-takeoff.
line
Looked
all
at
on
it.
your own, okay?
Patted himself.
Echo 3, take the line.
Patted the airplane, and that is a good takeoff. Absolutely.
Echo 3 is going to take the line. I'm just going to hold a little bit because he's going to be making lots of wake turbulence.
Understand
What
that,
great
Dan?
flying
You
airplanes.
just depart when you're ready.
All right.
And we'll go from there.
Echo 3, roger.
Our Maple Leaf representative, Dan Reynolds, It's a long ways from the Yukon to Texas. He didn't come here for second
Echo 1,
place.
you're
He
gonna
wants
have
to take that trophy
widen
home up
the
north.
crosswind into the downwind for me, and I'll call your base leg, okay?
Roger, Echo 1, you call the base.
Echo 4, come on up and take the line.
Wow, that Chinook is putting out so much horsepower the brakes won't even hold it. It rolls before he gets off the brake.
You can turn
That
into
was
the downwind
impressive.
for
He's
me
won the
as soon
STOL
as able,
competition
okay?
in the biggest state in the United States. He's trying to take home the
I've had a little bit.
from the second.
I'm having a little engine trouble here for some reason. Okay, she seems to be running here. I'm just going to extend out, just make sure everything's okay.
Big one up there.
That's just fine.
Yeah.
If you want to move over to your right and land, you can do that as well.
We ain't talking.
Everything's okay. I think I just caught air there whenever I climbed out real steep.
Okay, turn into the downwind when
All
you're
right,
ready.
here's our Kit Fox.
Or
Let's do it
I tell you
again.
what, if you want to make right traffic down runway 18, that's available. Then if you need to land, you can.
No, I'm okay now. I just got air there. I guess I climbed way too steep there, so I'm safe to land across. If I have to, I'll glide down.
Echo 4,
Air
go.
Show TV
Echo 5,
guys
board up
capturing
to
all
line.
the great action. Woo, that one was good. That one was good. I'm not sure if he had a secondary touchdown right after. 91 feet, 91.
Echo 1, you're good to land.
It was the second
Echo
lift
1,
off
turn
that
final.
got him. All right, I didn't see this first Zenith, so I'm going to pay attention. This thing was ripping. UL Power.
Go fast.
Echo 5, you can go.
It's a...
And Airbus Echo 3. I don't have Echo 1 ahead of me. Where's he at?
And he's
that's
up your
hilarious.
left
That is so
side
cool.
on the final. Just
You
about
couldn't,
your altitude.
probably couldn't hear it on TV. He had a little horn. It actually went beep, beep, right before takeoff.
Okay, I'm still going. Oh, okay, I got him. He's just in the fog. Okay, I'll let him pass, and then I'll pull right in behind him.
That lightweight tail flying the nose off. And what was our total distance on that? 85 feet. 85
4,
feet.
we're going to get jammed
So we're
up
talking,
here.
we can see
So,
150-foot total combined
as soon as I
takeoff
see
and
5,
landing
I'm
out of these
gonna
guys.
Give you guys a right racetrack pattern, okay? One right 180, but fall in behind
Okay,
5.
I keep looking back, looking at the drone. Going,
Echo
who's
5
that
is
pilot?
just turning
He's
left
supposed to be
downwind.
there.
And
All right, we got
right
two
down
on
at
one.
180.
We might have a spacing
Okay,
issue.
Echo
and
5, I
number
see
2
ya.
might have to go around
you
on
see the
this
guy,
one.
the kit box ahead of you making that right turn?
Yes, I got him.
We'll see how
Okay,
quickly
you
we
just
get
go
the
to where
first
he
guy
made the
cleared
right
out.
turn, and you make the right turn to follow him still, okay?
Will do.
And yellow kit box, the red and black Zen Air, just ahead and to your right there, or off to your right. He's going to follow you.
My
and
producer
you
in
can,
my ear just let me know that
rejoin
we
the
actually
downwind
have
at your
folks from
discretion.
all around the world.
Echo
There's
4,
folks in
Roger.
Netherlands right now watching us on live Air Show TV. Well, hello to you over there in Netherlands. Wish you could join us here in Texas, Gainesville, the Lonestar STOL, but we appreciate you watching. Tell all your friends. We've got a worldwide audience. We have a worldwide group of
Airbus
pilots
Echo
here,
3, can I
and
do a
the
360
flying
here? Because I'm
is
getting beat up a little
hot
bit
here
from
at
the
Lonestar,
cub
Texas.
ahead of
So,
me.
thanks for joining us. Let's go see what our
Echo
light
3, if you
sport
need
experimental
it,
guys are
make
going to
your
finally
right
put down.
360.
Right 360 coming up. I just want a little more time for the air to
Looking good on
stabilize.
this one. Looking good. There it is. There it is. Yes!
So
Yes!
Echo
That
4,
was on the
yellow kit
line.
box is gonna
Oh,
get,
tough time getting it
extended
stopped.
just
It
a
was
bit
skidding,
more, and I'll call
hydroplaning, but
your
he
base,
does.
okay?
I think
Echo
he's
4.
going to like that one.
Echo 5 just joining behind Echo 4 on left downwind.
All right,
Echo
our
5,
Chinook is
follow
spun for
4 ahead.
spacing. The nice thing is his turn radius is about 169 feet is all. He is lined back up on final now. He's about a quarter mile away. It's going to take him about a minute to
Echo
get here.
1,
He's doing
go all the way
25
down.
mile an hour,
Keep
maybe
going
20
down
across the ground.
Same direction.
If I
When
wasn't
you
so
get
old
down
and
to the
decrepit, I might be able to just
Delta
outrun
taxiway,
him as he was
make a
landing,
right
but
turn,
that's not
and
going to
then
happen.
taxi south on runway 18 back to parking, okay?
We'll do right on Delta down the main.
Nice high approach. You
Fox,
see
so
the
you turn your
airplane on a
base now.
continuous line coming at
Fox.
us. Stable, smooth. He's liking this cold, thick air here in Texas. Sunny degrees and 75 might be nicer for the fans, but I'll guarantee the pilots and the airplanes like this cold, thick air. Copy. There's a little side wind component starting to kick in. He's working it. But he can see all the way over the nose of that Chinook, right to his desired touchdown point here on the line. He was short last time. He's going to make it good this time. Slightly longer, but what a quick stop. God. Yeah. Woo.
Echo 5 going pretty slow here.
Feet,
Go ahead and turn
47 feet
Echo
for Dan
5, that's
Reynolds
fine. You can turn back
and the
to the front.
Chinook. He gave up about 5 feet on the
Cross,
landing.
can I turn in where I did last time off the runway?
Look at the design of that airplane. So
Echo
functional.
3, yeah, that'll
He
be
can
fine.
get
Go
on the
ahead, do that.
brakes so aggressively.
Echo 3, that's
Nothing out there in front of the nose. You can't really tip it up on its nose. It'll just 96 total right now for Dan Reynolds and the Chinook. Showing you why he is one of the toughest ones to beat out here. Hal Stockton, most famous man not on the internet. You better bring your A game. Yeehaw 6, you're going to need some extra ha. Well, as we watch our Kid Fox come in, I'm going to come over here and grab CC. This man at Bush Air can teach. Well, he's standing right in here next to one of his students who put down. Did you see his landing and takeoff in the round?
He's got it. He's got that one. He's got it.
I think he might. I think he might. Oh! Slightly short. Maximize the drag coefficient of the stop prop. You know, anybody can fly STOL. It's really easy, but I wonder if you can actually narrate.
Time to get it started
Jeff,
again.
you
Levi,
think you
just
can narrate?
let me know if you need anything.
Here, I'll eat the tacos. You narrate. You didn't like that? What the god? I thought there was great hospitality up north. Wrong. Get your eyes checked. Get your eyes checked. All right.
Echo 5, short final on my
We're
clear.
pushing the Kid
Good now.
Fox off. We are coming back.
Say it again.
Here is our
Echo 5, I was watching Echo 4 there. I'm short final on my clear.
Yep, you're good to go, John.
The takeoff was impressive, both of them. But we need to make the landing count. It's the best takeoff and landing combined in the same pass. And when you land short, it's a DQ or a scratch. Using a low approach, about a 1 degree flight path, behind the power curve. Settling, nose coming up, power coming up, looking out to the side, physically looking down, check his height above the ground, pulls the power, about a 10-foot landing, past the line, aggressively onto the brakes, into the standing water, will hurt him a
You can
bit.
go back off the ramp on the back taxi now.
Echo 3, roger.
Red Kid Fox, go ahead, make a 180, and you can back taxi.
But he
to
got
park.
himself the counter he needed. He is in the running to be standing
5,
on that
make a 180
podium this
and back
afternoon
taxi.
when it is all
Got
said and
that.
done. And that is what it is all about. Whether you came from Canada, Maine, Florida, Washington, Arizona, we've got people everywhere in between. Oklahoma, Arkansas, New Mexico, Colorado. They're all here for one thing, and that is to proudly go home wearing the first place buckle of the first Lonestar STOL Competition.
Hey, boss, Echo 4 is back up. You want me to taxi back down and park south or stay up here?
Comes up
Echo
into a
4,
Y, so
come
you
on out
can
if
fly
you'd
it
like
comfortably
to
from
park
either
down
seat.
here for the next
With
run
only
if you're
one
gonna
set
go
of
out.
controls.
Roger, I'll come down soon.
All right, we'll wait for you.
Like sitting in his lazy boy in his living room with a big plate glass window all the way around. Dan enjoying the view of the Chinook. And our beautiful Kid Fox 4 running back down as well. Alrighty, time to bring up our next round in our light sport experimental category.
Echo 6, Zen Air, you take the line.
We should be looking for a Legend AL3 flown by John Wisdom. a Zenith 750 with Mr. Ted Blomker at the controls.
Airbus Echo 6 is with you.
I know we have a couple other airplanes thrown
Take the line,
into
Echo
the mix,
6.
some late entries. The weather made it difficult for everybody to get here kind of when they planned on Thursday or Friday. So I don't necessarily have all the latest information, but it looks like we got ourselves another Just aircraft.
7, are you the Yellow Cub?
Confirmed.
All right. The big
Roger
brother to the Zenith we just saw flying.
8 and 10, you can pull out onto the taxiway there in line.
Sounds like he's got a traditional
And 8, you'll be following the
horizontally
Yellow
posed
Cub.
aircraft engine in this one.
Echo 8, copy.
He's on the line. Here it is. His first pass, checking everything one last time, cycling those flight controls.
Echo 6, depart when you're ready.
Power up, nice throaty roar, lifts off, and it just doesn't quite come early enough. Maybe could have had a little more angle of attack, would have helped get that airplane off the ground just a little bit sooner. Now, a Legend Cub, light sport, old 80 horse, light airplane, low horsepower. If you fly it right, fly it light, it'll really perform. John Wisdom. He's a Texas boy.
Echo 7, go.
We're getting the spacing on the airplane ahead. It is there. Ooh, oh, I thought it was going to do it. I thought it was going to do it in about 70 feet. It rolled for about an extra 20, probably a 90 to 100 foot takeoff roll. All right.
Steve, are you 9?
Behringer gear, brakes, and
Roger
wheels.
that.
It's a Highlander. Not quite as modified as Steve Henry's Yeehaw 6 behind him, but I bet it's still going to perform nicely.
Echo 6, do you want me to 360 out here, beam the numbers?
Echo 8, good to go.
Echo 6, do you want a 360?
Echo 6, negative, just go.
About 110
just
foot
past the numbers,
takeoff
and you can
approximately.
bring your
I'd
base,
say
give me
that's
five.
pretty good. Now, ladies
Echo
and
6,
gentlemen,
turning
from
base.
Napa, Idaho, Wild West Aircraft. He's won Oshkosh. He's won Independence. He's won most of the ones he competes in. This is Yeehaw 6. He's got a Yeehaw 7 in his home as well. A Yamaha Edge performance engine. One of our flying cowboys, Mr. Steve Henry. Let's go.
Come on up, Al.
That is what we came here to see. Steve is laying down a statement right there. A little nitrous, a little
You're
leading
almost in
edge.
the air just from his
43 feet. 43 feet. But Hal Stockton, the most famous man not on the internet, he's got his winter beard. That's going to add a couple pounds because that's some serious growth right there. Lawnmower 3 taking it to him. $47 feet. All right. So I
Echo
got to
8,
tell you
I'll
a
call
story.
your base, okay?
We do low and slow to
Copy, Echo 8.
Oshkosh last year with the Flying Cowboys. Hal's on the way out there, halfway across Wyoming. He loses a motor. He calmly comes on the radio, goes, yeah, motor quit. He lands out on a road in the middle of Wyoming. Happens to roll all the way up to the line with that, a little bit past on our Super Zenith. Gets it to a stop.
Echo 8, turn base.
It won't be the game he wants there, but he gets it down safely and had a good takeoff. Hal lands, finds a pickup truck, calls
Echo
a
8,
friend.
turn
They
your
load a
base.
spare engine in a Cessna
Echo 8,
206.
space.
About 6 hours after losing the motor, he's got a spare motor sitting in Wyoming desert with him. They unbolt the old motor. They put the new motor on by morning. They wake up from their sleeping bags on the ground,
Echo 6,
fire up the new motor, it's good to go. In less than 24 hours after losing a motor airborne, he changed a motor, flew in a motor, changed a motor, test flew a motor,
Roger that,
and made it
Echo
all the
6.
way to Oshkosh to join the rest of the Flying Cowboys. Only Hal Stockton can do that. There's no flaps. There's nothing to really help bring that legend Cub in except pure pilot skill, and that was pretty nicely done. Sub 200-foot landing there, I would say.
Echo 7 just followed
So,
the
we're
Zenith down there and parked
New
on the ramp
Holstein
and wait for your
STOL
friends.
Competition the weekend before Oshkosh. Steve Henry gets beat by Hal Stockton for the first time ever. You think there wasn't a little bit of ribbon and razzing going on? And if that wasn't bad enough, at Oshkosh, Steve got beat by another one of our good friends out of Canada. So he kind of had two in a row. He hadn't been beaten in a long, long time, and that really lit the fire in him. So I think he is really, really hungry for a win and a new belt buckle. That Edge Performance engine, over 300 horsepower, turboed. They'll actually plug a computer into that engine, and the engine tuners are in Norway. That might have been some of the people watching us on TV saying hi. Oh, this is looking good. Oh, just slightly short. Ran out of elevator. Nice decision to take it around, though. It bounced. A little bit of crosswind component, drifting left. That's some good airmanship there. Smoothly feed in some power and just fly away. Okay. So Steve builds a new Highlander about every winter. This one has the traditional Highlander wing. He's added the leading edge slats to it. Yeehaw 7 was built with a modified wing to be faster to try to win the STOL drag races out at High Sierra Fly-In. This motor he's had on the airplane for about 2 weeks.
And Air Boss Echo 8, I don't have traffic in front of me.
There it is on the line, up on the brakes. Get it, buddy, get it. Nice.
Air Boss Echo 8.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in downwind, don't have the traffic in front of me.
He's on half-mile final or shorter.
Let's go get an unofficial number. What was that, TJ? 54, and I think it was about a 43 takeoff.
Let's go clear up here to this taxiway.
100 feet.
Okay, you do that.
Unofficial. Now,
Echo 8, Air Boss, can you call my base?
Or a heavy
Echo 8,
machine
you turn your
mechanic.
base now.
All right, turning base for Echo 8.
Nevada. He had a 700-foot sloping backyard desert that he decided I needed to build an airplane that can fly out of my backyard on a 700-foot runway at 4,900 feet density altitude. Oh, little early on the Rans. He's not going to like that one. This is obviously his third Rans, as Lawnmower 3 indicates there. He continues to improve the airframe. He put this one on a severe diet. It only weighs 800 pounds anyway, and he got another 20 pounds out of it. You notice it doesn't even have a tail wheel on it. He's just got a skid back there, and that skid is actually lead weight. Why? Because all these airplanes maximize their center of gravity. We're all carrying ballast somewhere in our tail, whether it's lead weights, stuff that's temporary, stuff that's permanent. I've got a certified airplane, so I can't be bolting lead weights to the back, so my tool bags and stuff that I have when I fly down here, I bungee cord into the back of my baggage compartment to help give myself an aft CG. That reduces the work that my
This
tail
probably doesn't
has
count,
to do,
right? Just put me on the
remember,
ground
tail is
for
an
Echo 8.
upside down wing, so the more that it has to work, the more drag it is, the higher my STOL speed. An aft CG is more efficient.
And then I want you to turn
So
off
you will
into the
see,
ramp that Hal
in
comes
Hal's
out
case,
of,
he
okay?
put the lead on the
Coming
tail.
in really
and oh, by the way,
faint.
that lead makes a really
So
nice
they got a
anchor
taco in
when
my
you're
mouth.
landing out on the grass or even on the pavement here.
You're going to land.
Here's our other
and then you're gonna
Highlander
go just
coming
past
in,
Hal,
a little bit long,
and we'll work it out then.
but a safe one. You know what? you get a couple under you. Some of us out here, or some of the guys out here flying, are flying their first couple STOL competitions ever. So nice job.
Echo White, you can make a left turn onto the ramp, and then once, are you going to go back out?
Affirmative.
Okay, go back on, go onto the ramp that Hal just came off of. Echo 9, start your back taxi, please.
Okay, I'm behind a couple guys here.
Okay, Echo 6 and 7, if you can make a little room. 9 needs to get off the ramp first, and then 8 downfield's going to join the
I love
line
it
in
as Hal
front of
just
you
taxis
two.
with his tail up in the air so he doesn't wear that weight off. Changes CG. We should be getting all these guys reset for their next pass. And then remember, after we have this final 2 passes, we're going to take a short 10-minute break. Then we're going to get right back in the air. We're going to put the final round of performers. Final pass for everybody.
9 is back taxi in.
Jump in my 170.
9 is back taxi.
Lead the
8
way.
just
See if
follow
I
9.
can't get a little bit better.
8 will follow 9.
I need to land shorter.
And 7
My
follow
takeoffs
8,
were okay.
Green
I don't have as
Highlander
much
coming
wind
off
as
the
I
ramp
had this
just
morning, but I need to
downfield
get closer to the line. So we've all got a little more to try to wring out of our airplanes. Thanks to Jeff for bringing me a little bit of lunch here. But I know right now Steve Henry has to be happy with what he has coming out of Yeehaw 6. Look at that. The cool thing about that Edge Performance engine, 300 horsepower coming off the ground right here. But when we were running cross country to Oshkosh, we're running along at 100 mile an hour, burning about 7.5, 8 gallon an hour. So just like your diesel pickup, he tunes that engine, and you can really get some nice economical performance out of it. Or
So
if you
6,
need to,
when you
crank
get
it
across
up
the
and
line,
get everything
you
you
can just
can,
make a
so you
180
have that
and take
Edge
the line,
Performance
okay?
to win your
Roger that,
first
Echo 6.
Lonestar STOL belt buckle. Brought to you by National Roper Supply. Yes. Of course, one of the activities we love to do with a lot of our backcountry airplanes is we'll fly out to a riverbed, fly into a mountain strip, spend the night, spend the weekend, go fishing, go hunting, hiking, biking. You see several tents out here along the flight line. May not have been perfect camping weather, but that's a great way to take advantage of your general aviation airplane. Those of you who live here in Texas,
when you're ready.
fly out to Big Bend State Park. Beautiful facility out there. You can go to the lodge, spend the night in the lodge, get some ice cream, or go camping right there. Maybe go out to Marfa. I camped out there with my daughter after coming back from Afghanistan. We sat out there in our lawn chairs at night, watched for the Marfa lights. She was about 8 years old. She's pretty sure she saw them. Here comes our Super Zenith 750. Gets it. Oh, still has a little more performance that he could edge out of that airplane. A little more aggressive rotation. I think that airplane would get airborne a little quicker for him. But I sure can respect a guy that flies within his limits and his skill sets as he develops them. Our Legend Light Sport, he's not messing around. He's getting it done. Airborne quickly as well.
Echo 6, turn the crosswind, please, into the downwind. Thank you.
I do like this beautiful olive drab paint scheme. Good looking Highlander. Roomy, lots of room in them, not only for the pilot, a lot of room for baggage. Support all your adventures. We're waiting on the spacing. It's good. Here we go. I think he's going to like this takeoff a lot better than his first. Definitely. That was a good one. Way to step it up from the first takeoff. Those of you may be able to see, check out the unique flaps here on Yeehaw 6. They actually extend. Glass panels on the floor. You can see him dancing on the rotor pedals. He's got the helmet. He's got the power. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, that airplane hurts your ears. It is loud and pushing out so much power. .47, another .47. About the same thing he had before. The pressure is on Hal. Is he going to be able to take his friend again? The man known for his coveralls with a reflective arm and leg bands everywhere he goes all year round. I think that takeoff was better, Hal. Oh. 40 feet. That's the best takeoff. Now, can he make the landing match it? You know, we got a saying for Hal. He's one of the most generous guys. He comes down to Oshkosh every year, and when he's not flying competitions, he is probably given more rides to kids out of the fun fly zone there at Oshkosh than anybody I know. You'll look over there all morning, all day. He'll have kids just load them in that airplane, taking them around for a pattern.
Right,
So a lot of them flying for the very first time. Guys just got the biggest heart in the world.
Pretty much the same places you did after the first run.
Okay, here's our challenger coming back in. One of our novices, developing the skills, developing the experience, giving us a unique look at this capable airplane. Oh, little short. Steve's got a good one. He's got a winner in the books. Whether he knows he has a winner, whether everybody else knows he has a winner, we don't know. Here comes our Legend Cub. Remember, no flaps, most basic of airplanes. Nothing to add drag to it besides the ability to slip it, stick your arm out the side. Doesn't have big gear, doesn't have big suspension. You have to finesse this airplane on. But I've seen him easily do 150-foot landings. This guy was smooth. He's good. Let's see what he does. Floated it just a bit. Nice job, though, rolling it through all the drive pavement to get the most out of it. And I think that's going to come in right at the 200, 210-foot mark. I see a lot of people with a lot more capable airplanes that can't do that.
And if there's room there, Cubby, you can park next to the Zenith.
Okay. Our first Highlander. We need a good one. We need a good one here. There you go. There you go. That's it. That's what we like to see. Good job. Nice job. Yeah.
And
another one under the belt.
Looks like they made enough room for you to make the left turn onto the ramp.
You know, the pros make it look easy, but
Hold on
it's
the
not
ramp
easy.
on the left.
There's days that they all scratch, and then you get a rookie or a novice in here, and he's flying next to the guys that are the best in the world and a little bit of pressure. It's not easy what these guys and girls are doing. Big shout out to all our fans around the world on Live Air Show TV. This is what you're here to see, the superstars. This is one of the biggest. Steve Henry, Yeehaw 6. Drops it, pops it a little bit long. It's great for everybody. I know he's not going to be totally happy with it because it's going to come in at about 55, 58 feet.
Echo 9, left onto the ramp if there's room, or take it to
So
the
it looks
next,
like the first pass that Steve had is going to be his counter right now, but everybody realize we got one more round to go. What we're going to do after Hal hits hits Lawnmower 3 on the ground, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Grab you some quick meal, grab you a drink, grab you a bathroom break, whatever. I'm going to go jump in 9-7 Bravo, get her fired up. I'm going to fly my last pass when we come back from the 5-minute break. Get back on the microphone to bring you the final round. Oh, a double scratch for Hal. He is not going to like that. And then we will get this all wrapped up, and we will award those silver buckles to the first ever Lone Star STOL Competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Jughead Council. I will see you in 5 at the start-finish line.
And then off the ramp, 9876, back to parking.
And just be advised, Echo 8's going to stay here near the fuel pump.
Echo 8, sitting tight. Okay, thanks.
Just so he knows, I got 4 hours of fuel on board.
Say that again?
Just for him, since he needed fuel, I got 4 hours of fuel on board.
The Kodiak is one of the most modern, rugged, and versatile turboprop aircraft produced today, considered by many to be the luxury SUV of the sky. One small detail that makes a world of difference is a wing design with a discontinuous leading edge. This is actually 2 wing profiles that are married together, allowing air to flow smoothly over the outboard wing and control surfaces, even in conditions that would cause the inboard wing to stall, improving control of the plane at slower speeds. Fuel storage in the wings sits behind the main spar for increased safety. If the wing should strike an object, the fuel is less likely to ignite than if the tanks are farther forward. The Kodiak also runs off plentiful diesel jet fuel, adding unparalleled safety and efficiency. The height and the strength of the landing gear was designed to handle unimproved landing strips in remote areas. The Kodiak's 4-bladed prop has 19 inches of clearance, giving peace of mind when landing on unimproved airstrips. The Kodiak 100 was the first single-engine turboprop with the Garmin 1000 avionics package. Since its 2004 introduction, the Kodiak has incorporated the latest avionics as standard equipment, like the GFC 700 autopilot with the level switch included, a first for any turboprop airplane. The Kodiak offers high-quality interiors. The plane's seats allow easy removal and storage in the optional external cargo compartment. The days of choosing cargo or seats are over. And the Kodiak's huge panoramic windows at eye level provide an unprecedented flying experience for the passengers.
From the beginning, our goal has been to produce an elite aviator. We want pilots leaving our school with skills beyond what traditional learning could create. In all of our courses, we saw an opportunity to increase both the safety and the confidence of pilots. To accomplish this, we created our own curriculum and syllabus in-house. Off-the-shelf materials lacked the depth we were looking for. We had to do something different to produce that elite aviator and take pilots to the next level. We fly tailwheel airplanes because of their unmatched capability, allowing them to access areas most people couldn't imagine. Learning in a Cub also has the added benefit of producing superior stick and rudder skills, as well as increased situational awareness. Because of a tail dragger's inherent capabilities, we are able to expose students to a wider scope of scenarios and terrain. A Cub's ability to land off airport also increases safety and allows pilots to be confident in their aircraft. In regular planes, you might have a few options in an emergency. In a Cub, you have dozens of options. Throughout the year, we lead expeditions around the country. giving pilots real-world experience in planning, navigating, and operating in some of the most beautiful and challenging landscapes. Our expeditions are an opportunity to dive deeper into the fun and adventure of off-airport flying while taking the pilot's skill and confidence to the next level. TAC Aero is continually innovating and creating new courses that help pilots become elite aviators.
Ground boss instructions up. Yeah, they don't have the line. If you want to, you know what? If you taxi up the line, it might bring the line judges back.
No, it's not until the 5 minutes, so.
Okay.
Air boss, ground boss.
Air boss.
Yeah, I've got somebody at the fuel pump I need to bring down. Can I do that?
Affirmative.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. One more time. Hopefully get a better landing line.
Still looking for 2. Alpha 3's up.
Gonna fly a little steeper final because of the winds. Didn't like the overall touchdown point, but we'll count it.
All right, Jughead, if you'd switch over 23-0, we're getting some radio checks, please.
We'll go.
Okay, I got Alpha 1, Alpha